Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Come Play Podcast. This is episode 32 and our NFL season preview for the 2019 season. Here today is Brendy, Bobby, and Tyler. So it's up, guys.
It's
What's up,
fucking
guys?
time. Let's go.
It's probably one of my favorite shows we did last year. It's going to be a long one. I'm going to tell you that already. I'm pretty sure last year's show was like 2.5 hours or something. But this is what we do. We go through every division in the league, go through each team, give some predictions, how we think teams are going to do, where they're going to finish for the NFL, and let's just get right into it. Also, we will still be doing in case you missed it this week, so we'll have a little break from it
Brenda's got those
in the
nice
middle.
juicy stories ready.
Oh yeah.
Why'd you? The way you said that, I don't
Because
like that.
the entire NFL offseason has been very, very juicy, which we'll get into in a second. And I know Brendy is looking for a particular story to come up on Twitter right now. So hopefully we will have some breaking news for you regarding
we'll have to wait for that.
We're including a certain diva in the NFL currently. So
So we're gonna start with the AFC. We're gonna start with the AFC East, the division
yes.
that I don't think has changed for, I don't know, the past 20 years. Like, I swear it's the same standings every year.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll start with the AFC. Basically, like I said, I just want to explain again how we do it. We'll go around and everybody give their preview. We'll go from team to team and then go from there, from top of the division to the bottom. So we start with, like I said, the AFC East. Bobby, I'll give you the reins to go first, of course, and give us your predictions.
You got it. I mean, if anybody knows the AFC East by now, and if anybody knows the Patriots at this point, I mean, this shouldn't really be anything too different than what you're used to. But keynotes, Brady, still the man, still the GOAT. No sign of slowing down at all, even at his age. I mean, he and Father Time are like this, you know what I mean? So they'll be good for a while. He's still well in machine, so there's no concern for him at all. Not even close. Even though his backup is now gone, Mr. Hoyer. Anyway, so on top of that, the biggest news, well, I shouldn't say the biggest news, but the second biggest news about the Patriots in the offseason was the reinstatement of Josh Gordon. I like this kid. I know he keeps getting himself into some trouble, and I know that, but I want to believe that this kid is going to be good and is going to be a story that everyone's going to be telling their grandkids down the line. Like, I'm really hoping for this man. I really am. I really hope he turns it around, and especially with the Patriots, man. I mean, he's proven that he's got the skills, man. He's got the hands. So if he just kind of gets his act together, then I have no reason to doubt that he's going to be a weapon out there alongside, Julian Edelman, who's just been a constant in the receiver core for a while now. The big question mark, obviously the biggest news for the Patriots, Gronk retiring. Sad to see, but honestly, I don't blame him at all. I don't blame him at this point. I don't blame anybody retiring with that money. But with that, the Patriots lose, a big piece of the offense, no pun intended for him. But, I mean, seriously, you had people having to double cover him and leaving guys like Gutman and Gordon open. So you got to wonder, without Gronk, if the receiver core ends up dwindling a little bit just from, them not having to worry about this short tight end, this, short pass tight end being around always, or even a blocking tight end for that matter. That dude did everything.
Probably one of the best offensive weapons the league has, seen. He was just a problem.
If Kelsey wasn't in the league, I think he's best tight end in the league. I don't think that's even a question.
Yeah, I mean, it's A1. It's they're both very good, but yeah.
Defense looks great. I mean, there were some issues with the secondary last year, but I mean, on paper, I mean, everything looks pretty standard. They made a couple of minor moves, from my understanding, that I'm not too familiar with off the top of my head. But I honestly, with just even if the defense suffers, because I know that was one of the biggest questions last year, the offense is just too overpowered for that to even matter. It's just really one of those scenarios. I mean, look at the Chiefs. The Chiefs had a similar situation. We'll get to that later, where they had probably the worst secondary in the league, but because of how good their offense was, it didn't matter. It really did not matter. The weirdest move that I still don't quite understand yet is the whole Ryan Allen being released. Their punter. Now, it's weird with punters. Punters are important. Let's put that out there. I'm starting a hashtag right here now. Punters are important. Punters matter. Let's do that one. Punters matter, right? So, and not for nothing, he was a really good goddamn punter. I mean, just again, another piece of the Patriots puzzle that just was always constant. Like, it was rare you saw him make a bad punt, and even for his less than amazing punts, they were still way down the field every time. So it put everybody in a bad position at any given point. So rookie from Stanford, Jake Bailey, takes over. Know nothing about him.
So speaking of punters, did you see that hit that Matt Bosher of the Falcons did last year against I forget even who it was against, but I just remember he just completely leveled.
A pile driver.
Yeah, exactly. And he got drug tested the next day.
I remember that. Yep, I remember that story. Yep.
Okay, I just wanted to add that.
Yeah, no. So they released him. I really don't know why. I haven't totally followed up on it. I haven't quite had the time. I'm confused about that one. Did he explode at practice or something? I don't know. And then the weirdest one that I know Tyler has a little bit of his heart in there. They released, but then re-signed for cheaper, Demaryius Thomas, for whatever
that's what the Patriots do.
Because go Patriots. Oh, by the way, speaking of what we'll get to later with the Raiders, do you see the meme going around of Belichick walking out of the tunnel or whatever and saying Bill Belichick coming to take AB with a 3rd-round pick?
Yeah.
So,
well, but honestly though, because going back to Josh Gordon, he's so talented, and you touched on that. He is very talented, and I remember, when he came back with the Browns, briefly when he was on the Browns, coming back from suspension, he had flashes of brilliance. And when he went to the Patriots, I was like, this is the best thing that could happen to him, because the Patriots don't take bullshit. He obviously he had some stuff going on mentally too, so I don't want to blame him for everything, but that's where they don't. It's all business there, and it has been, and that's why they're such a great team and stuff. But yeah, Josh Gordon, that's one that he could definitely have a breakout year, and I would not be surprised.
It's a culture with the Patriots, right? Do your job is not just a slogan. It's just what Bill lives by. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who you are. You either do your job or you get the hell out. You know what I mean? And that's why a lot of the argument with Brady or really any of the other offensive weapons that the Patriots have had over the years, it's were they really a good player or were they a part of a good system? That's something my roommate continues to argue with me about.
Yeah.
I think Brady is exempt from that argument because I don't think it's any question at this point just how elite and one of the best quarterbacks of all time he really is. But for other offensive weapons, I mean, there is sort of an argument there, but there's a culture of the Patriots that's just unmatched in any other team in the league. So that being said, do you want me to give my prediction, or do you want me to just kind of end it there and then we'll do the prediction later?
Well, I'm gonna assume that you have them first in the division.
Yeah, and does anybody else have a hot take regarding that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think the Dolphins are gonna take the. No, I'm kidding.
Jesus Christ.
But a serious question though, Bobby. Were you having a panic attack last year when the Dolphins were ahead in the division and they were playing really well?
Yes and no. Yes, more so wow, are they actually going to be a playoff contender this year?
They could contend in battle.
They could contend, but I never thought that they could win the title. At the very least, they would get a wild card and then maybe meet us later down the line. And for some reason, the Dolphins has our number at least once a season for some reason. I still don't understand how that is. The Miami Miracle was last year, right? So
it's always when the Patriots play in Miami. That's when they have.
It's really
problems.
weird. It's a really weird game to watch. If you haven't watched one before, just go watch it. It's really weird. It's the only team we decide to play down to. It's really weird. So there's that. No, I was worried, but then Dolphins. So they went right nosedive back into the water, and then never to hear from them again. So. I was worried for a second there, but honestly, not I wasn't losing sleep over it. I was losing sleep over teams in other divisions. So
yeah,
I'm sorry. I just want to add one last point to the Miracle in Miami, Bobby.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I'm going through just about every play in my head. Uh, a lateral pass for a touchdown has only worked twice in NFL history.
Yeah.
Or excuse me, a game-winning lateral.
Yeah.
That's what I meant. There was the Music City Miracle, and I think the other one was I forget what it's called. I think it's called the River City Relay, the Jacksonville Saints game.
I love how we name all these moments, by the way. I
Yeah.
love how they get named. It's my favorite thing
Well,
ever.
now they're getting pretty simple.
Yeah.
Miracle in Miami.
The Dolphins need to
Yeah.
raise a banner for that miracle because that was the only thing that's happened to them that's been good in the past 10 years. So
Very true. Very true.
Yeah. So no, I mean, I'm the same. I have the Pats obviously winning the AFC East. Get this. This is just absolutely incredible. Belichick is looking for his 20th straight winning season. That is incredible. That is insane.
I don't know.
Look, I mean, obviously that goes hand in hand with the success of Brady and the Pats, but that's crazy.
Wasn't there like one year that like they went like 10-6 and still missed the playoffs?
It was
or something.
Was it the year Brady got hurt?
I can't remember. I just remember it was like that would literally be good enough to be like a 2 or 3 seed like in a normal season, but
Yeah.
for some reason that wasn't.
Yeah, it's just that's crazy to me. And there was a ESPN film. I don't know if it was the first or third film, but it was called Bill and Bill. It was about Bill Belichick and Bill Parcells, and it was really good. And it went until and yeah, it was really when he was back with the Giants and doing crazy shit there. So back as a coordinator. So yeah, crazy there. Yeah, Gronkowski being not there anymore, like. Yeah, it's crazy because he was so injured like so frequently, and the big reason he retired. So like they did without him. They're the what they do on offense is just insane. They're using like their fourth string running back on like these end arounds and shit like that, and it's crazy. The big thing with me, which I talked about with Bobby before the show, like it just pisses me off. And look, I get that a lot of it is because of their division. But the Patriots are tied for the second. They're tied for second with about 6 other teams, but they're tied for second for the easiest schedule this year, which just pisses me off. Seeing they just won the Super Bowl. Like quickly looking at their schedule, obviously they start off against Pittsburgh. You got Miami. You got your 3 division games in a row: Miami, New York, Bills, the Redskins, the Giants, the Jets. Like, come on. So yeah, it should be no surprise there. Quickly as well, the one person that I'm a little bit interested in this year, and he's going to be out for half of the year, is their wide receiver they drafted, and N'Keal Harry. He's going to be out. He's on IR, so he'll be out for half of the year. But that's a guy that I can definitely see. I mean, look, when you have Brady flourishing to you, anybody or throwing to you, anybody can flourish. But I can see N'Keal Harry really doing well. So
he's probably going to be the guy that like once he's recover and back, once the Patriots clinch a playoff spot is when they'll start giving him some snaps, a little more consistently. And then if he pans out, then he's now a new weapon for the playoffs. And if he doesn't, then they're just going to continue to develop him for the next couple of years.
Yeah, I can see that happening. Yeah. But we all looks like we all have them going with the AFC East, winning the AFC East. So my second place team is the Jets. I have them. By the way, I don't know if you guys were giving records. I have the Pats at 12-4, and I'm gonna have the Jets at 8-8.
Yeah.
The big offseason move for them is getting Le'Veon Bell. That's a huge signing. One of the best running backs in the league, as well as the best receiving backs in the league. That's going to transform that offense. Also getting Jamison Crowder this offseason paired with Robbie Anderson on the outside is going to be a nice little package there for Darnold, who's looking for it's. I feel like sometimes it's never talked about, but it is true for some players that sophomore slump. How that guy does the second year after his rookie year, we'll have to see. I don't know. The Jets to me are a team that is definitely on the rise. It's just that, obviously having the Patriots in your division, like that's almost 2 losses a season. But it's just I don't know if they have it all there yet. I like their draft pick this year at defensive tackle and Quentin Williams. Also, like there's been a lot of media clips going around with him and just being a really lighthearted guy who looks like a big teddy bear. So yeah, I just for me, I just think that the Jets are they're getting better. I don't think they're there yet. I know some people are predicting them to maybe edge into a wild card spot, which I could see. I really could. But yeah, for me, I just have them at 8-8. And then one last thing, I just wanted to add a big loss for them, Avery Williamson, one of their middle linebackers being out. That hurts a lot.
Yeah.
He's one of the best middle linebackers in the league. So yeah, that one's going to hurt them. But interested to see how Le'Veon comes out and plays. Also, real quick, I just need to talk to you guys. Have you guys seen the Jets' new jerseys for this year?
Yeah, I have.
How are we feeling about them?
Yeah, I've seen them.
I don't know.
I mean, I'm looking at the hand. Let me pull up a picture
I
right
did the
now
same
just
thing.
to.
It's been a while. They announced those a while ago, didn't they?
Yeah, it's been a while.
I mean, I think I was about to say I mean, I think they're better than they have.
Really?
Oh, I don't
Yeah.
know.
A lot of people are hating them. I don't know. I'm like indifferent on them. My favorite color is green, so but I like a lighter shade of green, and I don't know. It's just weird. You know what it looks like to me, like those color rush jerseys that they do for Thursday
Yeah,
Night Football.
I can see that.
Like it's usually like all one solid color. Like that's what it kind of not all, but mostly one solid color. That's what it is for me.
I think
Anyway.
it just looks a little newer. Like, I mean, I think
Yeah.
that's the right update for them. I mean, maybe it's a little, I don't know. It's weird. It's not the most modern thing in the world, but it's definitely an upgrade. I don't know. I like the look. I'm not hating on it at all.
I don't know. I just had to bring it up because
Yeah.
I know a lot of people are hating it.
Yeah,
But yeah, for
understandable.
me, I have the Jets at 8-8. Brendy, how do you see the Jets panning out this year?
So you might actually be a little bit surprised. I think they can get 9 wins. It's assuming they can get the whole situation with Le'Veon Bell figured out. But if they don't, then I'll have them like with maybe 6 or 7. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that they have an entirely new coaching staff, and that's given them like a lot of like energy into basically a team that basically into a team that's dead. I'm gonna say that. I think Sam Darnold. I wasn't really a big fan of Sam Darnold, but I think he's going to take a major leap forward this year. And I think this team has a lot of positives now. To be fair, they do play in the same division as the Patriots, so they're basically playing a 14-game season, like with 2 losses. Like
Yeah, that's what I said.
So I think the Jets, like I said, contingent on Le'Veon Bell. If they can figure out that situation, I think they could be like the first team in a while to actually like get a wild card from the AFC East. That's my thought on the Jets.
And Bobby, how do you see them panning out?
Like shit.
And
Honestly.
yes, I know the Buffalo Bills did, but like that was an oddity.
Yeah, right now, and this is something that Le'Veon Bell, I'm all for. I mean, I don't think it's any question, even with the holdout and how much of a fucking shit show that was. He's still arguably one of the best, or if not the best, running back in the league. He's definitely gonna have to showcase himself again after a whole season being away from the game, but I'm sure he's gonna be fine. And they got a new head coach now. My whole thing with them is they're going to be relying on Le'Veon Bell, and now this new head coach bringing in like a breath of fresh air. Hell, even new uniforms. They basically have just rebranded themselves recently. Let's just say that much, right? And then now Darnold has to really make a stride this year if he's going to really be the guy, right? And now, I'm not totally confident in that yet, so I'll stick with the 8-8 record for them because Le'Veon Bell is really going to carry that offense. But I'm just not convinced with them yet. But they're better than the other 2 that are left in the AFC East, so I'll give them that much.
And yeah, transitioning very nicely. You set me up nicely there. The
I do that, man.
Bills. I have the Bills at 7-9. Now, I might come to regret this. I could see the Bills getting maybe 9, even up to 9 wins, because of
Oof.
one reason and one reason only. The Bills actually had the second best defense in the league last year.
Yeah.
They were second in yards per game last year at 294.1 yards. They have a really good secondary. Tre'Davious White, Micah Hyde. They add Ed Oliver in the draft, which I think is he was actually projected number 1 at the beginning of last season and fell to them. But that is the only reason I think they can get maybe a little bit more. But no, I do think, like I said, for me, 7 and 9. They add Cole Beasley on offense, which is going to be weird not seeing him in a Cowboys jersey.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna have to see what Josh Allen can do. A lot of people were thinking, that he coming out of Wyoming that he was going to be really raw, and he had his moments last year, but he played decent last year, and a guy that you might have thought was going to have a terrible year last year, like this guy was, everybody was saying like, oh, he just has this big arm and that's it, and he's got to work on a lot, which is true to some extent, but he played pretty well, and I can see him taking a step forward. They I don't know the exact reason. Me and Bobby were talking about this earlier. They cut Shady McCoy, and I don't know if that was strictly because he's getting a little older, and maybe they're just looking. They drafted Devin Singletary, so maybe I don't know, giving him a chance. I have no idea.
That's really quick to be giving that kind of guy of a chance. Unless training camp was that disastrous for Shady, I don't know why this makes
I mean,
sense.
I think Shady's in his 30. Shady's in
Yes.
his 30s now. Maybe they're just trying to move on. I don't know. And the other reason I was also saying that maybe I can see them getting a couple extra wins is like they are really good at home, and in Buffalo in November and December how crazy you can get there. So,
Yes.
but yeah, I have them at 7 and 9, and as my 3 seed in the AFC East.
Yeah.
Bobby, what do you got?
Yeah, you basically hit all the bullet points already for them. I really don't have much else for them. I don't think Josh Allen has an excuse anymore. He really has to step up this time and kind of carry this team because it really is much else. I still don't understand the whole thing with Shady. I really don't. I'm confused. But if their draft pick pans out, then you know what, good for them. But at this point, I don't really have much more to say about them. What a train wreck they were last year, by the way. But yeah, I'm giving them the third seed as well. But you basically hit all my bullet points for that.
Brendy, what you got him at third as well? I'm assuming.
Yeah, I have them at third, but I have them way lower. Dude, I have them I'm pretty sure. Hang on, I'm taking. Yeah, I've got them at 5 wins, and I know that you have them rated really high, specifically for the fact I feel like they actually did have like a really good draft, like you said, with Ed Oliver and that guy out of Oklahoma, Cody Ford, who's going to be playing guard. And the Buffalo Bills, I think, have actually done a really good job addressing their offensive line this season. They brought over some guy from the Patriots to play tackle. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Ladrian Waddle.
Oh yeah, Waddle.
Oh yeah. I got you.
Yep. And I think that's kind of an underrated signing. And they also they've also upgraded. They've upgraded quite a lot of positions, and Spencer Long, like I said. So I think the Buffalo Bills could they could sneak up there and maybe get 6 or 7 wins, but I think they still need another season or two from Josh Allen. And I know he's running out of time, but I mean, I don't know. I think this team needs another year together. See where things take them.
I'm not behind him yet. I gotta see something first.
Yeah.
And now we move to the train wreck. Well, actually, I don't know if they're the biggest train wreck of the NFL, but the Miami Dolphins. I'm sure we all have them last. So this might come as a surprise, but I have them getting 3 wins this year, and I only have them getting 3 wins because of Ryan Fitzpatrick's going to pull something out of his
Excuse
ass.
me, Fitzmagic. Excuse me.
Yeah. Fitzmagic's going to pull something out of his ass, and they'll win 3 games. But no, I I don't know if there's any team being more clear that they're tanking.
Yeah.
They obviously got rid of Tunsil and Stills to the Texans with draft picks. They were in the Clowney talks, but then they didn't get him, but still traded away their pieces. Kiko Alonso went to the Saints. It really looks like they're pushing for Tua in the draft as the first pick. Which here's the thing. So they're starting Ryan Fitzpatrick. I don't know. Josh Rosen goes to the Dolphins after only 1 year in Arizona because of Kyler Murray. And this guy is, he was a top pick. He was one of the top quarterbacks coming out in a loaded class, QB class last year. And it's almost like everybody's given up on him already. And I don't know if that's really fair. I honestly think we're going to see him at some point this year. I just don't know when.
Week 3.
No, it's here because Fitzpatrick actually he's a serviceable quarterback. Excuse me, but is there a point of the season where you're 1-8 and you're just like, let's give the guy a chance?
Well, you have to, right? I mean, because then there's no sign of progression, right? You always need to be moving forward, and if that means Fitzpatrick isn't it after this season, then you have to move on. You have to take the chance at that point.
It's also like you got to see if you have something on this guy because there's a good chance you're going to have a top 5 pick. You have, Tua coming out of Alabama, who is going to possibly be a very elite quarterback. Do you take a chance on him? What do you do? Like I said, I have the Dolphins going 3-13 strictly because of Fitzpatrick. But what do you guys see them at?
So I'll be quite honest, I was kind of laughing at you, but then started explaining more, and I was looking at their roster and key additions. It's I'm they don't have anyone. They legit just do not have anyone. Probably the best person on their team right now, and I'm glancing through everything quickly. The best person on their team right now isn't even starting, and that would be Josh Rosen, like you said.
Yeah.
And the thing about the Dolphins though is we kind of we should have known this was coming because they've had several years of just not being good enough to get a good, or not being bad enough to get a good pick, but not being terrible. They've always been that team that every NFL team should be afraid of going against because anything can happen.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Even the Patriots. So unfortunately, I'm sorry, Bobby.
I know,
but
hey, you're fair.
But unfortunately for the Dolphins, and all 7 of you Dolphin fans out there, I'm very sad to say this, but tank for Tua. That's all. I mean,
tank for Tua.
And that's even if the Dolphins are looking for a QB, if they've got Rosen. I think if they start Rosen and Rosen does good, they might look for other positions. So keep that in mind.
Yeah.
So I'll give it a solid 3-13 as well.
I know a lot of people are penning them in to go 0-16. So, but yeah,
I don't think they're going to be that bad.
It's let me tell you, it's really hard to get 0 wins in the NFL. The Lions doing that in the I don't even know what year it was, but I think it was less than 10 years ago.
They would literally have to pull a Cumberland and just sign people from the streets.
But yeah, Bobby, I'm assuming same kind of deal you're looking at record-wise.
Well, Tyler, there's a campaign going around where a lot of people are using paper straws or plastic so you can save the sea animals. I'm going to make sure I use as much plastic as possible so that every single Dolphin and Dolphin fan out there chokes and dies this year. I don't give a fuck if they get to at the end of all this. I just want to see them suffer, and I really do not want to see a Miami Miracle. But Dolphin fans, it's okay because Zach's got the hookup.
Wow.
I like it. That was, man, I know in our division, but like the Patriots own the division. What the Dolphins ever do to you?
They keep giving us the one L that we shouldn't have every year. That's what keeps
The
happening.
1L.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it looks like we are all in agreement in order, at least the AFC East. So yeah, we will leave that there, and we
Man,
will
my
go.
hot take button is cold as fucking ice right now.
Yeah. So we're gonna move to the AFC North. A lot of this is a division that a lot of people are stuck in the you know what of one team. But I'll start this off. I have the Steelers winning the division at 11-5.
Whoa.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Hold on. I'm gonna
They're-
count that. I'm counting that one.
That's fine.
Okay.
Look, a lot of people
I'd like
are
to veto that, by the way.
saying, "Oh, you lost AB and Le'Veon Bell. Like Big Ben's old. This team's done with." No, guess what? That's not this. That's an overreaction. James Conner showed that he is a very good running back. That offensive line, I'm pretty sure I could run behind that offensive line.
Yeah.
Juju Smith-Schuster, what a year, what a guy, love him. He's going to be the number one receiver there, and a team that I swear to God is just manufacturing wide receivers because. I know a lot of the conversation was, "Oh, can Juju actually be a number one?" Well,
Yes.
well, there. What? Excuse me. Let me backtrack. They were saying that Juju had so much success because he was a number two behind AB, one of the best wide receivers in the league. So that's fine and all. Maybe he takes a step back, but they have this guy in James Washington, who again, I swear, the wide receivers that they get and how good they are. I think this guy is going to be really good. I think he's going to be a really good number two. And yeah, I have high hopes for the Steelers on offense. On defense, they got the I hate to say it like this because it's terrible. Like I feel like it's terrible, but it is true. They got their Ryan Shazier replacement and Devin Bush out of Michigan. Being a Michigan fan,
blue.
seeing a lot of him, great player. I think he's going to do great things this year. And yeah, I just we're seeing right now everything, all the chaos that AB is doing right now in Oakland. Look, the Steelers have a better locker room now. I sometimes think it is a cliche, but part of it is true about locker room culture. You got a cancer out of the room, and I'm not saying Le'Veon Bell is a cancer per se, but the holdout last year I think maybe affected them a lot. And like I said, a lot of people are overlooking them. I have Big Ben having a really good year this year. I can see him being an MVP candidate, and I have them going 11-5, leading the AFC North. And with that, we will go to Brendy because he says it looks like he might be on my side.
Yeah, I'm on your side. I wouldn't have them 11-5, but I will have them. I'm gonna keep it a little bit more modest. I'll have them at 10-6, still winning the division, of course. Now I'm gonna quickly talk about Le'Veon Bell because we mentioned this last year during his contract holdout. James Conner, who quite honestly, had a breakout year just because Le'Veon Bell decided like he wasn't going to play for no reason. I don't think the Steelers are going to be hurt at the running back position just because James Conner is like. I think he's solidified himself as a solid running back in this league. I mean, he got nearly 1,500 yards. I mean, like that's more than enough to to impress your boy. Now, but the loss of Antonio Brown, I'm not entirely sure how that's going to affect him. I would probably that would be my one reason why I wouldn't have him at 11 wins, but I think overall they still have the best roster of this division. Now, my one concern would be Roethlisberger's age. So I do think they need to start. I do think the Steelers need to start thinking about that sometime in the long term. They might draft a quarterback in the first round.
Well,
Next season.
they have Mason Rudolph, who they drafted last year. I think it was in the first round or the second round, out of Oklahoma State. I think it was.
Well, I don't know. I just have a feeling that I think that's just mainly for the fact, like, if Ben Roethlisberger gets like hit really hard at his age, like he's more prone to get injured.
Yeah.
So they probably just wanted to have like a solid like rookie quarterback to have just in case something like that happens. So I don't think he's going to be like a replacement for him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know. He has some upside, but I mean, it's hard to tell, obviously.
Right. But you know, I think the additions of Devin Bush, you know, Moncrief, what's that? Steven Nelson. I think those are all good pickups. I definitely think the Steelers still got this, and I think they quite honestly got it pretty comfortably. I'm going to say so myself.
And Bobby, I think we all know who you have. You're doing some dick sucking, huh?
Okay. Well, let me start with the Steelers before I hop aboard the big old hype train for a second here. So
Okay.
let me start with the Steelers real quick. So first of all, and apologies in order, James Conner, my bad, dude. I'm sorry for saying that you weren't ready yet. My bad.
I just want to say when Le'Veon Bell was holding out, and I remember we had this discussion. Tyler asked the question, like, you know, if Le'Veon Bell actually does end up coming back, like, would he start over James Conner? And me and Tyler both said no, and you said yes.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's one of our better clips too. I remember that clip vividly.
yeah, because we were yelling.
Yeah, we were. So now listen. I still think Bell is arguably better right now. I want to see how this season pans out for both of them before I can finally make that conclusive decision. But I have no doubts for Connor anymore on the Steelers offense. I mean, he's ridiculous. He's gonna be fun to watch this season. I have bias. I hate this fucking team. I do not have them winning the division, but I don't see how they're not a guarantee as a wild card. Honestly, it's hard for me to doubt Big Ben, even though he, you know, age is starting to get to him and everything like that. I mean, he's still hitting the dimes that he's needing to, and with Juju probably being the number one, like you were saying, Tyler, and Washington now, he's got his weapons still. I guess the star power is not what's there yet. If Juju and Connor end up being basically AB and Bell too, then I'll eat those words. I like Juju a lot, both as a guy on and off the field. He's fun to watch and he's fun to follow on Twitter. But right now, there's a weird kind of transition period going through. I will say that the main reason why I had the wild card is that they don't have to deal with the locker room drama anymore. But there's, just like as I said, there's a culture with the Patriots. There's a culture with the Steelers, just of how, you know, rough and tough kind of team and powering through the biggest of bullshit like it was last year. So I'm not surprised they're back. I just don't have them winning the division. But who do I have winning the division? You might be asking. As I'm sure Tyler said, he said I might be doing some dick sucking. He is absolutely right, ladies and gentlemen. I am on board the hype train. I got the Browns coming back, baby.
Oh
yes.
God.
Oh yes.
Give yourself the hot take.
Yep. Yes, and I will do it proudly. Okay, so now I will say, a lot of the reason I'm doing this is just because I want to be aboard the train. Okay, I am full. I will happily eat the words the Steelers ending up topping them. But even if the Browns don't win the division, I still think they have a wild card chance. But with OBJ now, and I know I've said this 100 times, I have continued to eat the words that came out of my mouth about OBJ in the past, and I understand that now. I think the Baker OBJ connection is going to be fucking nasty. Baker's definitely it. And I after what they were doing last season, how they showed that they can honestly compete, and especially now with this big addition with OBJ, I just don't see how they can't just start soaring now. I really don't think it's a question anymore. So I just want to see it happen. That's really what I want to see, because again, it's just one of those stories that I want to see. Like, oh yeah, can we remember the Browns that went from 0-16 to this? That's what I want to see.
I'm curious, what record do you have them at?
I have them at a 10-6.
Okay. Okay. That's respectable. I mean, no, I didn't want you to be out here saying they're going to be 13-3
16-0, Super Bowl, everything. No, 10-6.
For me, by the way, I just remembered this. They have so they have Nick Chubb who's going to have a great year. They have Kareem Hunt who's suspended. I forgot they had him.
He's going to be literally a late season weapon.
I literally forgot about that until now. So for me, I have the Browns I have them at 9-7. I think that there's a lot of hype around this team. For good reason. You have one of the best wide receiver duos in the league now, and Odell and Jarvis Landry. You got Baker Mayfield, who, I I didn't think he was going to go number 1 overall, and I actually really wanted the Broncos to draft him. Obviously, they never got the chance to. And he's showing that he's, right now he's the best quarterback out of that class. The defense, Denzel Ward, another year at cornerback. You got Myles Garrett still there. I mean, that defense is improving as well. They have a tougher schedule, especially the start of the year. That I think is going to slow them down a little bit. You got a new coach there in Freddie Kitchens. There's a lot of pressure there. You got a lot of expectations now. And we'll see how that goes. I am looking for Nick Chubb to have a big year. He did very well last year. And I expect him to have a big contribution again. And then it will be interesting to see how they utilize him with Kareem Hunt, how they kind of divvy up the time there. But obviously we have some time to. There's going to be some time in between the suspension. The one they have a terrible offensive tackle situation right now. Like they have guys that are just not too good in there that they lost some guys in free agency. So I have them at 9-7. The Browns are weird for me. Like I could see them overachieving or under. Like I could see them. I don't know where they're gonna be. Like they're the one team I do not have a grasp on. Like I could see them going like 10-6. I could see them going 6-10. Like I don't know. So I have them going 9-7. And that's where I have them. But Brendy, what do you see in the Browns this year?
So I think you guys have failed to touch on something kind of important, and that's the fact that the Browns no longer have Jabril Peppers, who I think was the biggest part of their defense. That
Michigan alum. What a literally guy.
So the problem with the Browns has always been their defense, except Jabril Peppers. So the problem I have with the Browns is they did very little to fill. They did very little to fill up their holes in their passing defense with the loss of Jabril Peppers, and I think that and alone is going to be an easy way for teams to rack up the score on them. And I'm going through their list of key defensive additions, I guess. Mm-hmm. And the only person that is really sticking out to me, and I say sticking out very, very, very loosely, is Eric Murray from the Chiefs.
Okay.
And he's had a problem staying healthy, and he's been basically a backup his whole career. So the problem I have with the Browns is it's going to be the problem that I've had with them just about every season. Because the Browns, it's they've had mediocre quarterbacks, but they've had a killer offensive line every single season. And their receiving core could use a little bit of work, but I think with a good offensive line, you can do just about anything on offense. So I'm not worried about the Browns offense. I am extremely worried about their defense though. I think teams could probably get 30 points on them a night without even trying really. And that's why I probably would have them. That's why I have them third in the North. And I'll give them. Man, I don't want to be too hard on them just because they do have a solid. It does seem like they do have a solid team and a solid offense, but I'll give them 6 wins.
Oof.
Wow. Hold the fuck on. Hold on. You're getting one for that. Hold on. You're getting one.
I mean, look, I did just say though, like I can see them going 10 or 6 and 6 and 10, but yeah, Jabril Peppers, the player going to the Giants for Odell, or one of the pieces, I should say. So I actually kind of forgot about that. I won't lie to you, but
And
yeah,
that's a huge piece,
I'm
by the
glad
way.
Yeah,
we're
that is.
all on three sides of this when it comes to Cleveland, by the way.
Yeah,
We got Brendy, who's a doubter. We got me, who's a total believer. And we got Ty, who is kind of
On
like,
the
okay,
fence.
he's really on the fence.
Yeah.
I'll pull you over here, bud.
Yeah.
My
Build the wall.
third team in the division is the Ravens. I have them going 8-8. They surprised us last year. I remember Bobby saying having them as a wild card team, and we kind of like were like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" They got their guy there on Lamar Jackson now. One of the best running quarterbacks in the game right now. They had some major losses on defense, and they had probably the best defense in the league last year. But they had some major loss. They actually had the best defense, I'm pretty sure. They had some major losses. They lose Eric Weddle, C.J. Mosley, who that's a big one, and Terrell Suggs. They do get Earl Thomas back to replace Weddle, but yeah, they had some losses there. They drafted Hollywood Brown, who I think is going to be a great receiver for them at some point. But yeah, I just honestly with the Ravens, I'm not really sure with either. Those pieces on defense, losing them is big. And I really just see the Steelers and Browns as being better, and I just see them kind of being average. So that's why I have them at 8-8. But yeah, I'm going to keep them there. And again, I could see them getting a wild card again, but those losses on defense really hurt them for me. But what do you guys think with the Ravens?
I
Sorry,
like
I was waiting on you, Bobby.
Yeah, oh, sorry. I like Lamar Jackson. I think he's going to be fun to watch this season. But yeah, Ravens was their defense, which has been their calling card for quite a while now. With their
Forever,
defense, yeah,
feels
for
like.
a long time. So we'll have to see if that affects them. But I'm on your side here with giving them third in the division. Probably 8-8 sounds just about right, or even 7-9 for that matter. But I'm interested to see how Lamar Jackson pans out. See if there's any growing pains there. But I mean, he's going to be a running quarterback on the move. He's going to be fun to watch, though. So we just have to see if the offense is able to get behind him.
And Brendy, what do you think?
About the Ravens, I would probably have them. I would have them second in their division. I really like their addition of Earl Thomas. And this is going to be a common theme with my predictions. Like you're going to notice I'm very defensive heavy.
Bunch of championships.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, so I really like the signing of Earl Thomas. They didn't really like key defensive guys. And also the getting Mark Ingram I think is also huge. And losing Joe Flacco I don't really think is going to be that big of a deal.
It was time.
I'm being completely honest. Like they're better off with a scrub. I think at that point.
Tyler's just laughing at the fact that they're picking up the scraps from Baltimore of all places.
Yeah,
that's what he's laughing
at.
Depressed Broncos fan over here.
Yeah.
So I'll have the Ravens going 8-8 and being second in the division.
All right, and the Bengals, and that's all in the Bengals. Okay, moving. No,
yeah,
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Well, realistically, though, this is the notes I put down for them. Week 16, they play the Dolphins. That could be a big game for the number 1 pick. That's literally all I have. I'm not kidding.
AJ Green will be back. AJ Green will be back by that point.
And I guess the other thing I would just add for them is that, is this it for Andy Dalton? If he doesn't,
it was
really
it for Andy Dalton 3 years ago.
Yeah, it should have been. And they have a first-year head coach in Zach Taylor, but other than that, I had the Bengals going 4-12. But
man, Andy Dalton kind of reminds me of any quarterback that comes out of Georgia, very very solid but not elite. Always he'll get you he'll get you an easy 8 or 9 wins, but will never be good enough.
He'll win you championships in your beer league.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, that was a shock.
All right, yeah, but yeah,
Am I wrong?
there's not really anything much I want to say. They lost too many good guys. They didn't really add good.
No, they did not.
I'll give them 3 wins.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I have him at 4. Bobby, how many wins do you have him at?
Yeah, I got 3 or 4.
Okay. All right. Sorry, Bengals fans, but yeah, no major moves there, and we have them on last.
The jungle's
now move-
quiet, motherfuckers.
We now move to the AFC South. I will start it off. My division winner. This is a toss-up. Like, this division was a big toss-up for me. I should say at the bottom. But yeah, I have the Titans winning the division. I have them at 10. I have them at 10-6. You know who is the happiest people to hear about Andrew Luck's retirement? It's the Titans.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were about to say me.
The Titans never beat Andrew Luck in his career. He went 11-0 against them. So they're happy. You know, you obviously a divisional team. At worst, you can like maybe split them now. Is like that too much to ask? You know, the big question for me, and honestly, this is going to really depend on their season, is can Marcus Mariota stay healthy? Because that's been their problem. He just has been injured. You know, he's. I'm honestly trying to figure out if he's like actually really good or not. I will say I think Derrick Henry is set for a big year. And that defense is very good. Kevin Byard has shown he's one of the elite safeties in the league, and Mariota. This is it was like kind of a minor move, but almost a big move for them. I think he finally gets a slot receiver in Adam Humphries. He never has really had that, and that's I think a big addition for me for them. And yeah, like I said, that defense is very good. Adoree Jackson at corner. Another year for him. I would like to see where he goes, but yeah, a weird division. I have them at 10-6. Like I said, and winning the division. Yeah, I don't know though. This is the AFC South is always like either like it's just never consistent.
It's competitive in the wrong way.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
Yeah, so it's competitive in the wrong way, and like if you were to ask me like before the Andrew Luck retirement, like who's going to win the division, I would say like there's actually like kind of a battle for like who's going to win the division, but now it's like Houston. Like I don't think there's any competition really. Like maybe like for me it's like Houston and then like maybe the Jags, like with a big maybe.
I'm with you here. I'm totally with you here.
So the Texans did trade away Clowney, which quite honestly has been looking like a huge like steal for the season. Like I forget exactly what they got a couple defensive ends and like I think a 4th round pick or something.
Seattle won the trade either way. I mean, Texans now have a little bit less on defense.
Well, yeah, but that also depends on how Clowney does. But their defense has quite honestly waved goodbye. Like they've waved goodbye to a lot of like really good talents. But quite honestly, like I still think the Texans are still the odds-on favorite to win the division, and I think a lot of that will have to. I said I was very defensive minded, and the Texans though with Deshaun Watson adding another year. My one concern with the Texans, well, my other concern with the Texans is their offensive line and Deshaun Watson being the most sacked quarterback last season
by a lot.
Yeah, and it wasn't even close. So I think if their offensive line can improve with any additions that they've made, I'll have them going at 9 wins and winning the division. I can't believe I'm saying that.
I don't know. I feel like
maybe 8 wins and winning the division.
And Bobby, you feel the same about the Texans? You said.
Yeah. So, and I'll kind of round out the rest of the rest of the teams in the division as well, and then just kind of share final thoughts with it. But yeah, I have the Texans winning this division. I do think their offensive weapons are still there. As long as the offensive line actually decides to show up this time around, I'm sure he's going to be fine. And with, Watson, Hopkins, Fuller, Stills, they got Stills from, what was that for? It was from Miami, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well,
So
that's the bigger piece was Laramie Tunsil, who's
Yeah.
supposed to help that line.
yeah, which is supposed to, and that's what we have to keep an eye on. But the offense is there, so I don't think you have to worry about that. I mean, I think it's the best offense in the division. Um, JJ Watt's still there on the defense, but like Brendy said, they lost a few key pieces, including Clowney. But honestly, I'm with Brendy here with them taking the division. I am not a believer of the Titans yet, especially with Mariota.
Me either.
I'll give them a 7 or 9 or an 8-8 at the most, honestly. But
The Titans, you mean?
Yeah, the Titans.
Okay.
I seriously, and I'll say that even though I'm not a believer in the Titans yet, I know part of the reason is because one, I think the Texans are a lot more playoff caliber than they are, and I also think the Jags are in the same boat. So, because I have the Jags going second, I do believe in Nick Foles at this point. I think the Jags are going to see a significant increase in their offense with Blake Bortles gone. Like, it didn't even matter if it was a little kid from the street. Blake Bortles being gone was more important than anything else going on there. So, and I like Nick Foles. I always liked him, even with his first stint with the Eagles back in the day. But I really can't hate on a guy who took down my team in the Super Bowl as a backup quarterback. I mean, I really can't. I don't think it's right for me to hate on a guy like that. He's good. He seems like a good guy off the field as well. Fournette, if he stays healthy, he's gonna be fine. Also, hey Nick, do me a favor, throw the ball to Dede because I drafted him in fantasy, but I kind of didn't want to.
He's gonna be a beast.
Yeah, I hope so. But like, it was weird. He was a later pick in my draft this year. So throw the ball to Dede. Make sure you give me a few points each week. And we'll be solid. And then the Colts, Andrew Luck. I am so sorry what happened to you. It really just depends if Brissett's going to be ready, but I'm sure he's going to just kind of get thrown into the fire, kind of like everybody else in that organization right now. T.Y. Hilton's good as always, but if nobody's going to be able to throw a fine pass to him, he's going to be garbage. So Colts are going to round out that division, not doing very well, maybe 5 or 6 wins, but that's about it.
Brendy, so you have the Texans 1, and then what are your other teams?
So I have the Jags number 2, and I think the key thing is like what Bobby said. Nick Foles, not necessarily like a huge upgrade, but definitely an upgrade. I think that his playoff experience, if the Jags do end up making the playoffs, will certainly help him.
Yeah.
And look, they threw a lot of money on him. Like, I'm going to be completely honest on a guy let me say this: Nick Foles won. Like, he led the Eagles to the Super Bowl, but I still think he's like somewhat like unproven, I guess. Like, I don't really.
I agree.
Like, Nick Foles is like, he's a very odd character, Like, it's hard to like put a proper measure on him, is what I'm trying to say. Now defensively, the Jags did add Josh Allen in the draft. And I think if there's anything that the Jags can do to overtake the Texans, it'll be their defense, especially if Jalen Ramsey can improve after quite honestly a bad season. And I will say the Jags also do have one of the easiest schedules in the NFL, so we'll have to see.
It's been quiet after Jalen over there.
I'll say the Jags. I'll say the Jags will have 8 wins, but don't be surprised if like they kind of surprise us again, like they did a couple years ago.
And you have where do you have the Titans?
Oh, sorry, I completely forgot. So the Titans. Man, I am not a Marcus Mariota fan. Like, I used to be a Marcus Mariota fan, and now I'm not, and that's not entirely his fault. Like, if he could stay healthy, like, I guess I would. If he could stay healthy, like, there's no telling how different he would turn out to be. But I think the Titans are getting a little impatient with him, and there's some big things that are expected from other players, like AJ Brown, for example. I forget where he was drafted from, but he was a 2nd round pick. And then they also got Cameron Wake. That could be pretty solid. But I don't know. I would have him at 6 wins most, because I'm not sold on Mariota right now. And then there's not really much I want to say about the Colts losing Andrew Luck. That's maybe a 4-win team at best.
For me, so like I said, just to restate, I have the Titans at 10-6. I have the Texans at 8-8, second in the division. They have the fourth hardest schedule in the league this year. No Lamar Miller, that hurts. Their defense got much worse. They lose Clowney, like we said earlier. They lost to Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu, which that's a big loss. And then they also lost Kareem Jackson to the Broncos. So they lost their two safeties. And safeties are obviously very important. So is that defense still good? We're just going to have to see. Tunsil hopefully will help that line. So Watson doesn't die. I have them going 8-8. I have the Jags going 7-9. I'm with you, Brendy. Like I just, I really like Nick Foles. He's a great person. I just don't know. Like, he obviously won the Super Bowl and was the MVP, but is that so much on him, or is that the brilliance of Doug Peterson and how good that team really was? I mean, they were having him run those run pass options. That was the big thing, run pass option. So you have two decisions: which one's open, you make it, whatever. And that's how they succeeded. That team was very good, obviously. So
I'll back you up a little bit here. I think part of the reason why whether you believe he's unproven is that you really only see him in a playoff aspect, which you could even argue that's the most important when you want to see him. But now it's up to him to carry a team through an entire season plus playoffs if that's how far they get.
Yeah.
So
yeah, right. I just don't know. It's tough. Like I said, I want to see him do well. It's just that tough.
Yeah, and defensively, I do think the Jags are there, but they're like the offense is like so missing, I guess.
I don't think they're as dangerous as they were just 2 years ago. Not anymore.
That's the other note I have is that is D.D. Westbrook, and now they get Marquise Lee back, but is D.D. Westbrook and Marquise Lee enough at wide receiver? They got Fournette there, so is that enough? And then, I mean, yeah, it's Blake Bortles was absolutely awful, and really drug that team down. So, like, I think they got an upgrade there. I just don't know with him. And then I actually have the Colts going 6-10, so a little bit more wins. Obviously Andrew Luck, it's been talked about. It really sucks. And can Brissett be the guy? I don't know yet. They have a great O-line, excuse me. And they had a lot of defensive stars last year, young defensive stars. Darius Leonard being the big one that that really broke out, and he's a year older. So yeah, 6-10 for the Colts for me. We're going to move to the last AFC team, the last division rather, the AFC West. I guess I will start here. I have the Chiefs winning the division.
With you there.
I have them. Sorry.
I said I'm with you there.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah,
I didn't hear what you said. So the Chiefs, I have them at 11-5. Their offense is going to be ridiculous this year. So their offense is going to be Patrick Mahomes, Shady McCoy, Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, Sammy Watkins. That's crazy. They added the Honey Badger on defense to shore up that secondary. I like that. Want to hear a fucking crazy stat? And as a Broncos fan, I hate this so much.
Go ahead.
The Chiefs are 21-4 in their last 25 games against the AFC West. Are you fucking kidding me?
Damn.
Like, that is insane to me.
You fucking suck, bro.
Well, the whole division. Well, actually, I don't know, because the Chargers are good, but I don't know. Anyway, yeah. So I think that the Chiefs are the favorite here in the West, and I have them winning it. Bobby said you agree, and then Brendy, how do you feel about them?
So the Chiefs, yeah, I would have the Chiefs quite easily win. Like, this actually seems like potential, like, depending on what the Broncos do. This, no, I'm kidding. By the way, I was about to make a joke that this could be the best division in football, but anyway. So the Chiefs, yeah, the Chiefs could definitely benefit from another year of Patrick Mahomes. I think he's quite honestly, an MVP candidate.
Oh yeah, no question.
Yeah, and obviously offensive player of the year. Yeah,
we
okay.
We got you. We got you, buddy. It's okay.
But yeah, there's not really much I can really add about this division. This is I'll say this is mainly Tyler's point, but I will say they have They have a really solid core. Their offense is looking like it's going to be scary, and I think for sure this is the Chiefs' division to lose right here.
Yeah, I would agree.
I'm so sorry, Patrick Mahomes, for saying anything bad in your direction ever. By the way, another
Yeah, I just
apology I
want
need to
to
get out of the way.
quickly add. I'm pretty sure I had the Chiefs going 7-9 last year because I didn't think Mahomes was going to be ready. Holy fuck, was I wrong,
Dude?
God damn.
Why were you so low on Mahomes?
I
I
think
mean,
Brendy was the only one high on Mahomes.
look, I really like Mahomes out of college. Like I thought he was going to be a stud. I just didn't think it was going to be that goddamn quick.
Yeah,
Like,
I know. That's
that
what
was
I thought. The
crazy.
same thing. I just wasn't ready for that yet.
Yes. So, second on the division for me, right behind the Chiefs, I have the Chargers at 10-6.
Yep.
It's the Chargers are interesting actually because they have a few things going on right now. Melvin Gordon's holding out, and I don't think it doesn't look like he's coming back anytime soon. So that's a big loss. But the bigger loss possibly for them is Derwin James is on IR after foot surgery. Who is an incredible safety, and he's going to be out till at least late in the year. Maybe like if they make the playoffs, maybe playing there. That's a huge loss, and their defense is still insane. But he was one of the biggest pieces on that defense. So we'll have to see how that works. I'm a little so I have them at 10-6, but the Chargers are a little scary to me because last year they were 7-1 in one-score games and top 10 in turnover margin, which you can't bank on. Their offensive line is terrible, and they have like literally no home field advantage because no fucking Chargers fans come to their games. So I don't know. I have that. And you guys both had them second, correct? Or
Yeah.
I'm sorry, or Bob, is there anything you wanted to add with them?
Well, I just want to notice, have you ever realized how many Rivers are on the back of the Chargers jerseys these days? I mean, Jesus Christ, I think everybody's related to Phillip Rivers.
Well, no, it's like the Falcons. Every single person they have listed as quarterback, like his first name is Matt. Like,
yeah.
like they got Matt Ryan, Matt Schaub, Matt Bodger, and Matt Bryant. So like they have an addiction to Matts.
Yeah, and Rivers has an addiction to obviously having a lot more children. So, whatever, man. I mean, he's still top quarterback. I mean, he's still got it, man. I mean, I'm not really worried about the Chargers all season. They'll basically just kind of repeat the same season they had last year. Yeah, second in division as well, an easy wild card pick for me.
Third for me, I have the Broncos. Sadly, I have them at 7-9. I think. Let me say this: There's no one happier as a Broncos fan that Vance Joseph is not their coach anymore. Holy fuck, was he bad? They got Vic Fangio, who I really like. I think he's done some good stuff already with them. Look, Joe Flacco, is he an upgrade on Case Keenum? I don't know.
Yes.
I think
fuck
so.
Is that even a question for you?
Look, they're both old and average. What do you want me to tell you?
But Flacco actually did something.
I know. Look, I think he is an upgrade. I just don't know how much of an upgrade it is. Look, this team is best at their defense. That's how they won a Super Bowl. Bradley Chubb, that's not his name. Bradley Chubb had 12 sacks in his rookie year, and him and Von Miller are going to be a problem this year. Let me tell you, like that's scary. They added Bryce Callahan, which should help at cornerback, and Kareem Jackson helps their secondary. I can't read if you can't tell.
What else is new, Ty?
So yeah, I think they still have Chris Harris Jr., who this might be his last year, which kind of sucks because he was kind of holding out as well, and he only signed a 1-year deal, and he's one of my favorite players. And then on offense, I mean, look, it's going to come down to their defense being really good, and can their offense be somewhat productive. They have Cortland Sutton, who I'm looking for a big year. He had a great rookie year. Deshaun Hamilton, as a slot guy, I really like, and then Sanders coming back from Achilles surgery. We'll have to see there. They have the second hardest schedule in the league, and this is why I hate them so much. This is what happens to me: false hope every fucking time for every sport. So this is a random fact, but the Broncos are the greatest team in NFL history against the spread in September. So essentially, what that means is in September, you got your betting lines. They're the best ever against the point spread. a lot of that is probably attributed to the altitude in Denver. Teams are going to Denver and are not used to that, but this is what happens. They start 3-1 and then they end the season 5-11, and it's the worst thing ever. Anyway, that's my rant on the Broncos. I have them 7-9. And I guess I'll just finish it out here and then I'll let you guys go. I had the Raiders of 4-12. It is a goddamn shit show there right now. So, like, this is, you want to talk about locker room cancers? Their locker room has Antonio Brown in it, Vontez Burfict, and Richie Incognito. What could go wrong? Like that is the worst.
Can we
Yeah.
quickly do an A/B recap of what's happened so far in the past couple of weeks, real quick? Can we just talk about that briefly?
Well, what had happened was he was being a diva, and he wanted his old helmet. That didn't happen. It's been a back and forth with that. He's not, he's just not showing up, whatever. The recent thing is he's been fined for his actions. He put that on Instagram.
He
Apparently
posted the
him
official letter for all of his
Yeah.
fines, and they include absences from practices and other team functions.
and apparently he almost got into a fight with the GM. And the funniest thing I heard from that is Vontez Burfict, who's like one of the dirtiest players in the league, was apparently one of the guys that held him back, and that's not good. Like, this is not good.
I think my favorite thing from that is that no punches were thrown, but he basically told the fucking GM that he would punch him in the face.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So
Come
what
on.
a great season of Hard Knocks it was. I actually haven't watched it yet, but
I have to
will
watch
be
it.
going
Sit
back.
down and watch it too.
They have the hardest schedule in the league this year. I have them at 4-12. I guess the one bright spot for them that I could see is I think Josh Jacobs has a big year. And I think he could be we'll see later, but I think he could be contending for Rookie of the Year for me. And then one last thing I just wanted to add is Derek Carr needs to step it the hell up this year.
Right.
Like, they need to see if they have some of him. There's this new metric that came out that I absolutely love. It's basically how it's described is it's throwing to the sticks. So there's basically a percentage of how many times a quarterback throws the ball past the first down marker or under it, wherever.
Okay.
Derek Carr is fourth worst in the league at throwing to the sticks. Now, you have two wide receivers in Antonio Brown, and they added Tyrell Williams, who are deep threats. Does he slow them down because he's not taking shots? I don't know. But I love that stat. But anyway, I have them going at 4-12. And then, Bobby, you wanted to round out with the Broncos and the Raiders on their records.
Yeah, Flacco's a hometown boy for me and Tyler. He and his family went to a town 10 minutes from us, and they're seriously our high school is in the same conference as where his high school was. So I've played basketball in high school, so I went to the gym pretty often, and their names are plastered all over the walls. I mean, I had to go play a game like the week after they won the Super Bowl, and I had to walk through like purple and black streamers. Like, I had to shove through them, like they were everywhere. So there's that. So I like him, and also he was a Raven. I go to school in right near Baltimore, Maryland. So for some reason, he would frequent the liquor store at the bottom of my hill at my school. For some reason, I really don't know why he did that, but he does.
Trying to get turned.
Yeah, but why? I don't know. I don't know where he was living when he was here, but maybe he was nearby, and I just didn't know. Raiders, as your urinating tree would say, you guys are fucking lolcows, and it just fucking shows. I mean, I never liked Gruden. He's not doing shit. And then AB, look, I guess I made fun of the Steelers for getting rid of him because he's a talent. I do see like just how much of a diva he really is. I knew he was a diva, but I mean, this is just over the top now. I mean, this is like meth head level. Like,
he needs to get checked out
at this point. So I don't even know what's happening with him. I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up having to get released at this point. That's the story that Brendy's kind of checking on Twitter on. Because at this point, with all what he's been saying and the fight with GM and him releasing all the suspension or fine bullshit, they do have grounds, I believe, to terminate him or at least get rid of him and void the $30 million that he's supposed to get paid. So there's that, and man, I liked Derek Carr. I mean, I brought this up earlier how they were a dark horse, Super Bowl pick right before he broke his leg, and then he's just never been the same since.
Yeah.
I want him to be good again, but it's not looking likely right now.
So I'm curious. Well,
By the way, sorry, I just want to add something really quick. We do have confirmation that Antonio Brown is not planning on playing Week 1.
Okay, so week 1 he's gone. Okay.
And it said this is a tweet from Bleacher Report, from Ian Rappaport. It says Raiders are not planning to have wide receiver Antonio Brown for Week 1. Unclear if it's a suspension or if he'll be inactive.
I'm calling this breaking news.
Yeah, I didn't want to, because it wasn't 100%. Anything could happen between now and then, but that's basically all but confirmed.
Yeah.
I'm interested to hear your records for the Broncos, like a rough record for the Broncos and the Raiders. But like, what's your record for the Broncos, Bobby?
I got them at 7-9.
Okay.
They'll be all right. They're not going to be in playoff contention at all, but they'll be all right. I kind of see them kind of figuring themselves out in the late season and grabbing a few extra wins there. But it's going to be a rough season for you, sorry to say.
I'm expecting.
And the Raiders, I'm going to give a 4-12 probably. Just because they have the hardest schedule and just nothing seems to be panning out for them and during this offseason and in training camp and everything else. So I just see a total fucking collapse this season.
Okay. Yeah, I think we all had the same division there. So with that wraps up the AFC. We are going to move on and take a little bit of a break here, and we're going to move to In Case You Missed It. And then afterwards, we will resume with the NFC. But Brendy, take it away with In Case You Missed It.
All right, so I'm going to move the conversation on to the right foot, soccer. So as you guys know, they're every so often. I don't quite know how often. Like maybe like once every 6 weeks or something. Soccer leagues have what is known as an international break.
Mm-hmm.
And the teams usually or leagues will usually take like a week or two off so that players can go play internationally against or like do friendlies or do World Cup qualifiers, do tournaments, whatever. So right now we're in the midst of an international break, and there's actually already World Cup qualifiers going on for the 2022 World Cup. One of these is actually quite historic that had just happened about 6 hours ago. So there was a match against you might not think this is a big deal, against Somalia and Zimbabwe. Two pretty big teams. So Somalia ended up winning 1-0, and I was like, okay, nothing really to report here. And then I looked into it more. It turns out this is Somalia's first ever World Cup qualifier win ever.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because they are I looked at their record. They are terrible internationally. And when I say terrible, okay, I don't know how many countries are in FIFA, but Somalia is ranked 202.
Wow.
I'm sorry to laugh.
Yeah, and hang on, I'm gonna try to pull this up really quick and just see. All right, I'm gonna go to the last page. So Somalia is ranked 202 out of 211.
Wow.
So they are god awful. Now,
so sorry to cut you off, but I just want they just got their first win. So the teams below them don't have wins. I'm assuming. What the hell is going on?
So for Somalia, this is their first ever World Cup qualifier win.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah.
So there are worse teams below them. One of which I'm actually you might be a little bit surprised to hear, given their population and their history with the sport. Ranked 204 is actually Pakistan. You would think they would be a lot. You'd think they would be a lot higher. But they're actually one of the worst soccer like soccer programs ever. But there's one particular team I want to talk about, which you're probably familiar with to some extent, Tyler, and that's a little team known as San Marino.
Oh yeah.
Now let me be as clear about San Marino as I can. San Marino is such a bad soccer team. They have a section on Wikipedia dedicated to list of matches not lost.
Wow. Okay.
Since they have started their program, they started their program in 1990, and since then have only not lost 5 times.
Wow.
That
sucks.
And they've only won once. So they've won 1 game in their history. And it was against Liechtenstein. So they've drawn against Turkey, Latvia, Liechtenstein again, and Estonia. And by the way, the attendance for that win, the one win that they got, 700 people.
Wow, man.
Wow.
So I just want to get your guys' reaction. Number one, it's kind of funny to see like these like low-ranking international teams like I'm sure they're giving it like they're 100% best, but it's kind of funny the fact that there's literally a section on Wikipedia dedicated to them like when they haven't lost.
You don't see that very often.
Like I'm on their Wikipedia page right now, and like it is all red, like from losses.
So FIFA is good for a lot of things, but the one thing it's great for is like, oh wow, okay, not going that direction, but you're right. No, it's good for like hearing of countries you've never fucking heard of before. Like there's countries that like you might have heard of once or something, but yeah, no, there's you realize that the world is humongous, and teams that are that's a small I believe it correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't that like a island off of Italy, or am I thinking of something else?
Somalia?
What are you talking about? Are you talking about San Marino?
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, San Marino is like I don't think it's on an island. I believe it's like a small country in Italy, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Like, it's kind of like it's a country within a country essentially. It's basically well, I mean, it's its own thing though. Like it's its own country.
I thought it had some association with Italy.
I mean, I think it does. I think it's technically considered a microstate. It kind of like the Vatican, I suppose. That's like I kind of think of it as like a Vatican kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, either way, like I know the population cannot be too much, and they're not pumping out talent. I've never seen like a top 500 soccer player be from San Marino, so yeah, it's not surprising. As for Somalia, like again, it's just you realize like how big this world actually is, and like soccer is such a sport where all these countries come together, and it's crazy.
I want you to see if you can pull up that picture on stream, Bobby, because like that shows how small the country is. Just click on that link and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about.
Let me see.
But yeah, it's basically the size of the Vatican, if not smaller.
Yeah. No, like I said, it's kind of crazy, but no, when you're counting how many, like when the whole section is red, that's not
good. I can't put it on stream, but I'm gonna put it in chat just because this is too funny. Okay.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting, like the history of these terrible soccer clubs. And the thing is like I'm looking at like the bottom of the list here. It's like most of these countries like you've heard of, but like it's kind of understandable. Like if you think about like population size, like there's the Bahamas down here, there's British Virgin Islands, there's the Cayman Islands. Like yeah, that's kind of understandable. Like why they're so bad.
Yeah.
But then you see like Pakistan, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of other countries too that a little bit surprising. there also American Samoa. Like you think American Samoa would be like a little bit better? They're actually ranked 194. They're actually known for producing a lot of football like American football players.
Yeah.
Right.
But you think it would kind of extend a little bit, but I guess not. But yeah, so kind of a neat little tidbits I found there. Thought you guys might be interested in that. So congratulations, Somalia, on your first World Cup qualifier win ever. Too bad that you're playing in legs, so you're probably gonna lose the second leg.
Yeah.
So moving on. So you guys seem to really like the kind of like quizzes I'm doing, like the quiz shows or whatever.
Yes.
So I found this really cool website. You guys may have heard of it. It's called Ranker.
Mm-hmm.
And it basically will give me just about everything I need to provide you guys every week with a quiz.
Oh boy.
So I found this one to be quite interesting because I feel like it's something that both of you guys could contribute to. So I'm gonna quiz you guys, and I'm not really gonna do this quiz style. I'm just gonna it's basically I'm gonna do like a top 10 thing.
Okay.
So this is a quiz on the most popular PC games right now.
Oh, okay.
PC games.
Okay.
So not Xbox, not PlayStation, just PC. So and like I say PC, but like like let's say like Rocket League is like cross-platform, but like I'm not talking PC exclusive.
So you're not so Fortnite would be an example where
yes,
cross-platform. Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna do we're just gonna do the top 10, and I'm gonna start with you, Tyler. I'm not gonna make you go down the list like 1 through 10, but I will say if you miss one, you're out. So,
okay.
So you got 1 through 10. What you got, bud?
I mean, I have to go.
Most
Fortnite.
popular PC games.
I have to go Fortnite.
Fortnite is on there, so congratulations. You move on, Bobby. And okay, sorry. I'm gonna say what Fortnite. You might be a little surprised. Fortnite is actually number 9.
No kidding.
Wow, that is surprising.
Okay.
Yeah,
that actually puts my rankings actually for a loop.
By the way, I will say one of these games is very difficult to get. I am going to be surprised if you guys can get it. But okay, continue.
So my
is it me or
it's
Tyler? Or sorry, no, sorry, it's Bobby.
Okay, I'm gonna go League of Legends.
League of Legends is number 2.
There we go. Yep.
So there you go. Okay.
I'll go Counter-Strike.
Counter-Strike is number 3. I thought that would be a little bit lower, but that's actually still very high up on the list. Okay. Good job.
I'm gonna say
now I'm screwed.
I'm gonna say Dota.
Dota is not in the top 10.
Oh no!
Sorry,
shit!
bud.
Wow, they fell off. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, Dota has unfortunately fallen off. Tyler, you want to try to take a crack at the last few?
I'm thinking like PUBG.
PUBG is number 7.
And then like going along with that theme, I'm gonna go like, is it Apex Legends? I don't even know if Apex Legends is a PC game.
It is. It is number 8.
Okay.
What? Really?
Yep.
Wow.
That was a tough one.
Wow.
I don't know. The only other thing I like that kind of came to my head was Minecraft.
Okay, Minecraft is number 1, so that should have been an easy gimme.
Yeah.
Okay, so
other than that, I have no idea.
Can I take one more crack just for funsies?
Yeah, go for it.
Roblox.
No, not Roblox. Roblox is actually 18, by the way.
Oh, okay, so it's not a terrible guess.
Right. And you said Dota. I assume you mean Dota 2, but Dota 2 is 26. So
wow, it used to be the most popular game on Steam back in the just.
It's still a very popular esport, but that's about. Wow. Okay, so so you guys, I'm counting 1, 2, 3. Let's see, 4, 5, 6. So you guys got 6 out of 10. Okay. So I'll consider that a failure because these games like these games are popular. Like I'm surprised you guys like there's one on here that you guys are gonna be shocked when I tell you, but
yeah,
okay. So number 4, Grand Theft Auto 5, easy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I should have thought about that.
Okay. Number 5, a little surprising, Rainbow Six Siege.
It's grown a lot. It's grown a lot.
Yeah, I was gonna say that game has grown. Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, so there's a huge esports community. Everybody's a tryhard in that game.
Yep. Okay. Number 6, how the fuck did you guys not get this? Overwatch.
Okay.
Yeah,
I probably would have said after Dota.
Okay, now after this list, now I'm like, okay, yeah.
Dota was the sleeper pick that I was trying to steal one with.
Don't worry, I got one more list for you guys. Try to make it quick.
Okay.
And then last game. Do any of you guys want to take one last guess? Because I promise you will not get it.
Is there any hints that we could take out of this?
If I were to give you a hint, it would be a giveaway. So I can't.
Is it World of Warcraft?
Okay, actually, I thought of a hint. Okay, so this game is it is part of a series, but it's not the newest game in the series.
Oh
yeah, you lost me.
Hold on. Give me a second.
No Googling.
No, I'm not Googling.
Okay.
Yes. I'm gonna know. I feel like I'd actually know this. Fuck. It's not StarCraft, right?
No.
Okay.
Tyler, you want to take a crack?
I have no fucking clue.
You give up, Bobby?
Yeah. I'm not gonna be able to think of it in time. We gotta go.
Okay. Number 10, Modern Warfare 2.
Wait, what? As a PC game?
As a PC game.
You're fucking me, really?
I'm not even kidding, because that game is actually incredibly popular for like mod tools and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It has a very high modding community.
Huh.
And it beats out games like Rocket League, World of Warcraft, and Black Ops 4.
I wonder if the stats change the next couple weeks because World of Warcraft Classic came out this week. So I'm curious if that had a huge number of players. So I know people are getting up in the morning and entering the queue just so they can play at night. Like people are doing that.
Well, fun fact, speaking of World of Warcraft, well, kind of, RuneScape is number 39. So that's
your game.
That's definitely my game. Yeah. Okay, and then one last list I want to get to before we move on from in case you missed it. We'll just do top 5 this time. If you guys get one, I'll let you know. So this is a list of the best, like, excuse me. This is the list of the most popular classic arcade games, like classic games.
Okay.
So I think you guys can get this. I think you guys can get this. So I'm gonna start with you, Bobby. We're gonna do top 5, 1 through 5. What you got?
Are these so? Is the list like top 5 classic games of all time, or like that are still being played? Like what's
all time, like most popular of all time?
I gotta say, Asteroids.
Congratulations, you've already lost.
Really? Asteroids isn't on there? Wow.
Asteroids is number 8. So if I was doing a top 10, you would have got that, but I'm not.
Okay.
I feel like this is a layup. It's got Pac-Man. Like it's gotta be.
Pac-Man is number 2.
Okay, and then I would say Donkey Kong.
Number 3.
Wow, really? Okay.
Space Invaders. I don't know.
Number 4. you're kind of hot right now, Times.
Come on.
Defender maybe. I don't know.
Defender's number 9. I'm sorry, you lost.
Missile Defense or Galaga?
Galaga is number 1.
Oh yes.
And then do you guys want to take one last crack at number 5?
Pole Position?
Nope.
Super Mario.
This is actually a little tough, so I'll just go ahead and tell you guys. It's Centipede.
Oh yeah, wow. Okay, I wouldn't have gotten that.
Yeah, so there's a little video game mix in there for you guys.
I like this Ranker thing.
Yeah,
Shout out Ranker.
Yeah, shout out to Ranker. Sponsor us, please. We need money.
But just a quick little tidbit. I thought one of you guys were gonna say Miss Pac-Man or Dig Dug. Those are 6 and 7, and then Defender is number 9, and Super Mario Bros. Is number 10, or not Super Mario Bros. Just Mario Bros. Is number 10.
Is the original Mortal Kombat on there?
Let me take a quick look. I see the original Street Fighters.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I see Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
Oh, that's a fucking game.
Mortal Kombat is 29.
Wasn't it you that linked the blindfolded playthrough of Punch Out Wii?
Yeah, that was like the best thing at a GDQ I've seen in a while.
Fucking Christ. Jesus Christ. Yeah, go watch that. I forget who did it, but it was a Games Done Quick of somebody doing a blindfolded speed run of Punch Out Wii.
Zallard 1.
There you go. It was incredible. I watched the whole thing.
All right, then let's go ahead and move on.
NFC. We went to the AFC, and in case you missed it, we're gonna start with the NFC East.
Oh God! Why?
Because I told you.
East.
I told you the order before the show. I just want you to let you know.
I don't care. Like, I don't care about why is the East gotta go first though? Like, at least do like the North or the.
We live in the
because
East.
I was going geography. I was going East, North, South, West. Like that just made sense to me. I don't know.
East and West. We got
Yeah,
tattoos on our chest.
Bobby, NFC East. So who you got winning the division?
Eagles.
Yeah.
I mean, defense is packed. If Wentz can stay healthy, then they're going to be monster on offense. If he gets hurt again, there's going to be some question marks about him going forward now. I mean, two seasons of him getting hurt like that. Like, listen, he's a great guy. He's a great quarterback. But excuse me, Jesus Christ. Hold on.
Oh, you're right.
All right.
Okay.
I must drop something. Sorry.
Okay, so, like I said, I mean, how much more are you going to keep throwing at this guy if he's just going to keep getting hurt? You know what I mean? Like, and it's not really his fault. It's just, you need something for the long term. And if he's just getting hurt, then you're risking to lose what is probably one of your better rosters that you've had in recent years. Are you really going to waste more Super Bowl chances just because you want to keep Carson Wentz around? But, besides that, if he stays healthy, let's assume he stays healthy and the defense is all good. I mean, Deshaun Jackson, welcome back, buddy. He's going to be fun again. I mean, he's going to be nasty. I have no questions about him, and I think this is an easy win for the Eagles this season for the division.
What do you have the record at?
I'm going to give them an 11-5. That's what I'll give them.
Brendy?
Yeah, so I'll be completely honest. I was having you said you gave your winner of the NFC East right away. I'm actually for the longest time I was actually having kind of a tough time picking who would actually win the East because the Cowboys, they look good. The Eagles, they look they're the Eagles. They still look pretty loaded. And it's pretty rare for a division to have two teams with 10 or more wins.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally okay, what's the best way I can describe this?
With your words.
Here we go.
It's literally I'm trying to think of a stupid reference. It's like being kicked in the nuts by Sebastian Janikowski. That's how I'm feeling right now.
What?
That's what I'm trying. That's the decision I'm making right here. So okay. I will say Philly does seem like the more loaded team, and I think they have the better offensive and defensive linemen, and I think this offense is going to be top 5. I think they have one of the best systems. I feel like the defense seems like it's really good suited. So I'm gonna have to go with the Eagles. I'll say the Eagles, just barely, will win the division. I'll give them 11 wins.
Brendy was going back and forth with the Eagles and Cowboys, and the Cowboys are a good team. Actually, I'm having them in the playoffs.
Can't wait for more Garrett memes.
I have them in the playoffs as a hint, but. And you know how I feel about the Eagles sometimes. Look, they're a local team and whatever. But I have the Eagles being the best team in the league this year. I have them going 13-3.
Wow. Okay.
They are the best.
You know what?
They are the best. They are the best, most complete roster in the league right now. And I think that's very clear. You get Carson Wentz back. again, as Bobby touched on, he's coming off of a major injury and then problems with that injury, a lingering issue. He's got to stay healthy. I'm looking for Carson Wentz to have an MVP type season. We will get into that later. But the Eagles were the second most injured team last year, and they made the playoffs. Look, they got in.
I have a question. Who was number one?
You know who was number one.
Yeah, I know who number one was.
Were you trying to take pride in that, or like what? I'm confused about why you so enthusiastically asked that question.
Because Tyler was being a little bitch about it earlier, but we'll just move on.
They add Jordan Howard and get Miles Sanders out of Penn State to solidify the backfield, which is big because like last year, look like that Corey Clement, good running back. You had Jay Ajayi on like one leg, and you had what's that? Who was that kid's name from Notre Dame? I can't think of his name.
I'm forgetting his name too.
But he was a running back for them as well. But you really solidify it. They have probably the best offensive line in the league. I just see them as the most complete team. And like I said, I have them as the best record in the league at 13-3. I'll be honest. I was looking at their schedule, and obviously, look, the Cowboys are a good team and stuff like that. So you're playing your division. But I was actually having a hard time picking games that they were going to lose in. So yeah, I have them at 13-3, like I said. And then piggybacking off of that, I have the Cowboys at 10-6. I know, like Brendy said, it is very rare to have two teams over 10 wins. But look, the Cowboys won the division last year. The big question mark with them was Zeke, and they got him signed to a record deal. Again, a guy who's prime. I feel like I'm saying this for a lot of players, but a guy who's primed for a big year. I could really see him going off. Like he's literally that offense. So yeah, I have the Cowboys in a wild card spot at 10-6. Questions there with Dak Prescott. Obviously, a lot of people are asking questions about is he worth the money that he's asking for? I'm just trying to figure out if he's good or really good or elite or average. Like, what is he? I don't even know. Like, he's just weird all the time. Amari Cooper came over from the Raiders and was a beast. Let's see if he can continue there. And they have a great offensive line, as what has always been said. And their defense has gone from a few years ago being really bad to being really good. Leighton Vander Esch was a great draft pick, and he's going to be one of the best linebackers for a long time. And yeah, I think Zeke is just too good, and he's gonna carry that team. So I have them at second.
Why did they let him hold out for that long? Pay him,
because Jerry Jones is extremely rich and extremely greedy and extremely stingy.
Fuck
That's
you,
why.
Emperor Palpatine, you sniveling little fuck.
Wow.
I'm assuming. Yeah, I'm not assuming. I know you guys have the Cowboys at 2.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of what you guys think of them. So, Bobby, what do you have on them?
I want to start by saying fuck the Cowboys, but second off, I want to start by saying yes, I have them at number 2. I really don't know why the Zeke holdout went as long as it did. I mean, he's proven himself at this point. Just pay him. I mean, somebody else is definitely going to pay him. If you don't, he's not Melvin Gordon, which I don't even think anyone's gonna pay for him. I don't think I ever mentioned my thoughts on that yet, but yeah.
Oof,
yeah,
that's a hot take.
Well, here's okay. I'll give it to myself. But my point with Melvin Gordon is that I don't think he's gonna get as much as he would like. Is what I'm saying.
Well, maybe, yeah, but
yeah, that's what I'm saying. He'll get paid somewhere. I just don't think as much as he's currently asking for. But that's just me. Anyway, so Zeke is gonna carry this fucking offense. They do have an old friend. He was on Monday Night Football, wasn't he?
Oh yeah. Unfortunately.
Yeah. So I can't wait to have him mic'd up on the field and him just be announcing the plays if he can remember them as he's running the route. So we'll see how that goes. I mean, he was still decent before he retired. I mean, he was definitely on the decline, but I mean,
Jason Witten, by the way.
Yeah, Jason Witten. Jason Witten. I don't think I ever said, but yes, Mr. Jason Witten. Amari Cooper. They paid a first rounder for him, didn't they?
Yeah, but he's been phenomenal.
Yeah, he has been. So maybe it was worth it. It just on paper, it always looked weird to me.
Yeah, it was.
So, I have them second. I think it's a pretty easy second. I mean, Zeke is going to be fine if you have him on fantasy, which I do. I took a gamble like a few hours before it got released that he was coming back, and they had a contract extension. He's going to be fine. He's going to be just fine. There's no concerns unless he decides to do something stupid and get suspended again. So, no, yeah, Cowboys. Number 2, I would say 9 or 10 wins.
And Brendy, is Sebastian Janikowski still kicking you in the nuts, or what's going on over there?
I mean, you may as well be after some of the hot takes we just had. So, like the Cowboys, like they're one of those teams where it's like I can't tell if like they're actually good or if the media is just overhyping them like they do every year, like with them and the Browns.
They're a good paper team, is what I'll say.
Yeah, I do agree with that, but like I will say this year they don't have a lot of holes. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
basically every major offensive every major offensive player has returned, and like they added missing ones and certain pieces that look better. Now there's no telling like how that chemistry is going to be, but we'll have to see. The offensive line continues like it literally just looks like bread and butter for Dallas when it comes to the O-line. So it looks like Zeke is gonna have plenty of holes to run through. Dak Prescott, better want to hope for a good season from him. Not so sure. Randall Cobb looks like he'll be a solid addition. And what's that? What's the other guy's name? Gallup, Michael Gallup.
Yeah.
Second-year receiver. It looked like he had a lot of potential last season. We'll see how he looks. The major problem I have with this team is going to be their secondary. Jeff Heath. Jeff Heath is really good, but he's been somewhat of what's the right word? Like a liability, I guess, in coverage. And Xavier Woods looks like he's done some good stuff, but he's not proven. And looks like they have a good linebacking core, but we'll have to see how this team pans out. I'll give them 10 wins, and I'll give them a wild card.
Yeah, like I said, I think I have them in the wild card, and you do. I don't know if Bobby does, but
Yes,
the Cowboys. Yeah, the NFC East looks like it's going to be top heavy. I guess so we can go through these last teams very quickly because there's not too much to talk about. I actually have the Giants going 6-10, which might be a little bit generous. My biggest question for them, I was going to say Saquon year 2. What does he do? My other big question for them is like, are we going to see Daniel Jones this year? Because like I feel like you have to. You really have to.
Absolutely have to.
Because Eli, there's a lot been said about him, and he's done some great things in his career, obviously Super Bowls and stuff like that. But they're drafting a quarterback because he's going out the door, and you need to see what you have in this guy. I will say, taking a quote from the good old Michael Scott of The Office, actually I forget exactly how it goes, but how the turntables have turned.
How the turns have tabled.
How the turns have tabled, yeah. With how everybody's like, oh my God, they drafted Daniel Jones at wherever it was, 6 or I forget what it was.
It was early, and what's his name was still available.
Haskins,
yeah,
was still available, and look what happened. He comes out in the preseason and absolutely balls out. So
well, let's remember.
He's playing against fucking future gym teachers, but whatever. It's still the same thing. Look, I think he is a guy that a lot of people are shitting on, and maybe he's got a chip on his shoulder, and we'll have to see. But yeah, I mean, that's really all I have to add with the Giants, and then I'll just round it out with the Redskins. My uncle's a Redskins fan, and I was in the car.
My grandfather is too.
And I was in the car with him when Case Keenum was announced the starting QB, and all I said with him was good luck with that, because Case Keenum, what the fuck is his career? Like, he was like a backup forever. Then he has like this crazy year with the Vikings. and then he goes to the Broncos, and like he was definitely below average, and now he's starting for like one of the worst teams in the league again, and like nobody's talking about him. Like he went from one of the biggest free agent, signings or whatever, or guys out there to nothing. So yeah, that's not much on them. I'm excited to see Darius Geis.
And
Last year,
so,
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. No, sorry. Continue.
Well, I was just gonna say, I want to see Darius Geis obviously tearing. It was either his ACL or Achilles or whatever it was last year. So this will be his first, actual year. Trent Williams is holding out, which is their best offensive lineman on a bad line, so that's not a good sign. And then the last note I have for them is this the hot seat for Gruden? Is this if look, they're not expected to be good, but is this it for Gruden? Like, if they're bad, is he out? So that's all I have for them. But go ahead, Brendy.
So I was just gonna say quickly about the Giants. Not really much I can say about the Giants other than the fact that it looks like they have a completely trash offense. That like as like Daniel, they have
Besides
Daniel
Saquon.
Jones. Well, yeah. Besides Saquon, I guess like they've got Daniel Jones as their backup quarterback. They should probably be starting. Like, sorry, Eli. And then their defense is kind of just a question mark. Like they've got to get their pass rush going. Lorenzo Carter looks promising though.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And the addition of what was that guy's name today? Marcus Golden. Yeah, Marcus Golden.
Yeah, yeah.
And so we'll have to see how those pan out. But I don't know. I would have the Giants. I wouldn't have them as low as you did. I would have them like maybe 7 wins, and that's strictly for the fact that like they're gonna get probably 2 wins from the Redskins, and then like I don't know, there's gonna be like some sort of magic somewhere that'll prevent them from like just being god awful. With the Redskins though, you mentioned Case Keenum. I just want to say like all the things that you talked about Case Keenum for, like he has like some weird stats. Like a lot of people don't know this, but Case Keenum leads all of college football in passing yards, touchdowns, and completions.
Yeah, well, that doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Yeah. And he went undrafted, by the way.
That's crazy. Yeah. I forget where he went. Didn't he, like it was?
I think he played for Houston.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I know it was like somewhere in Texas.
But like a major reason for that was his size, and like apparently he has small hands. Like he doesn't have like NFL quarterback hands. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, that's that's like something you cannot control. Well, like obviously height you can't control either, but that's kind of dumb.
Yeah. So I don't know, kind of one of those weird Case Keenum facts. There's not really anything else interesting about this Redskins team, other than the fact that like no, there's nothing. Okay, I'm sorry. Case Keenum like lead this team to a playoff. No, the Redskins are getting 4 wins at best. All right, move on.
Sorry, I just wanted to add I have them at 4 wins as well. Bobby, was there anything, or we kind of touched on everything?
Saquon Barkley, you poor bastard. Have fun. I'm gonna make a bold prediction. This might be it for Eli. Depending on so I'm thinking we might, depending on if I'm not okay. Let me back up a second.
Oh my gosh.
I guess what I'm saying is I wonder if we're gonna see another Romo type situation again. You know what I'm talking about? Like, so I don't think Eli's gonna get hurt, but at some point, right, you have to give. We talked about this earlier with our teams that you got to give the other guy a chance just to see if your future looks bright or not, right?
Yeah.
So now Daniel Jones is a very controversial pick. Not a lot of Giants fans are happy with the pick, but if you start giving him some regular season snaps after you eventually end up blowing it and not even remotely coming close to the playoffs, which you will eventually do, I gotta assume you gotta start throwing him out there, right? And then I wonder if you might see that the Giants might be like, well, he's here. I mean, why not? You know what I mean? I wonder if we're gonna. That's what I'm saying. I don't think it's actually gonna be it for Eli, but I feel like this is another one of those scenarios that it might be a Romo situation. That's what I'm suggesting.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just everybody's bashing on Eli, and then they pick the quarterback and they're bashing on him, so they're not happy there. But either
Well,
way,
it's New York. I don't know what you're
yeah.
expecting out of them.
Let's move to the NFC North. I don't know about you guys, but this was easily the hardest division for me to pick. I was like, this is tough. I think this is the best division of football, in my opinion. Let's just start out with this. Like, let's mix it up a little bit. Who do you guys have winning the division, like right off the bat, without saying anything?
I got the Bears.
Brendy.
I don't know. I don't know. I like. I'm gonna be completely honest. This is a really good division.
Yeah.
If I had to, if you're pointing a gun to my head, I'm probably saying the Bears.
Go in the pack.
Really?
Yeah, I really like their offseason. So the whole thing is that the Packers have Aaron Rodgers, so they're going to score a lot of points, but their defense can't stop a nosebleed. They addressed their defense so well this year. They added Adrian Amos from the Bears, who is very good. They get Rashawn Gary in the draft out of Michigan. They get Darnell Savage, who I love him for this. Last name Savage. He's changing his name number to 21. That's great. I love that. He's with it. They also had a Preston Smith and Zadarius Smith. I really like it. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to come out gunning again, and hopefully he can hold up. I feel like every team we're talking about, like just injuries. Like it sucks, man. But it's just the injuries holding them back. I have them winning the division at 10-6. But it's a very tough division. I can see this going one of three ways. So yeah, I have them there. And also just want to point out that Aaron Jones, I don't know what they're doing there, but Aaron Jones has to be the guy running back. They were throwing like everybody out there. They had Ty Montgomery at one point last year, and but Aaron Jones is the guy. He led the league in yards per carry last year at 5.5. So yeah, start him, please. Like that's all. But yeah, I have them at 10-6, and I don't know. I guess I'm gonna just move on to the Bears. I have them at 9-7. This one's tough. Like I originally coming in before like really thinking about it, I had them like being maybe a Super Bowl team, and now after everything, I actually have them missing the playoffs. Um, Vic Fangio leaving is huge. It's going to be tough. Look, they have a great defense. Don't get me wrong. Like they have Khalil Mack, and he's going to be a beast this year. And Roquan Smith is going to be a year older and beast. But they lost Bryce Callahan. They lost Amos. I just don't know. They Mitch Trubisky had a good year last year. I want to see what he does. It's just tough, man. I have him at 9-7 though. But I don't know. I literally could see this division going anywhere. Like I am really confused here. But anyway, Bobby, what do you have with the Bears?
I got the Bears actually pretty decisively at number one. I'm gonna give them 11 wins on this one. Honestly, I
Okay.
really feel like they could just make another run like they did last year. Remember, the only reason they didn't get further was because of one bad kick. So, and
Yeah.
honestly, I could see them returning. And don't they have a rookie that they're penching themselves about, aren't they?
This guy like missed a field goal by like 20 yards, and they're like, yeah, he deserves the job. I forget his name. It's like Pinheiro or something.
Yeah, something like that. So they got that, and then Khalil Mack is just a fucking monster. I mean, it's ridiculous. So I honestly don't have really much concerns for them at the moment. I had the Vikings actually taking second.
Okay.
Again, still a very momentum heavy team, and I think they could just make another run for it. I had the Packers at third. I don't know. I just I say this division I unfortunately had to kind of cut into my research about. But I've been down on the Packers for a while, and to me, and you mentioned that their offseason was pretty damn good. I'll believe it when I see it is what I got for them. And the Lions, even though I love their head coach so goddamn much, and how I love the joke now where he's riding ATVs onto the field now. That's my favorite thing about Matt Patricia right now. I love that fucking man. He's a mad genius. Yeah, that's an easy fourth for me. So I think it's the Bears taking the top slot and Vikings second with a wild card slot as well. Is what I'm gonna say there.
Brendy, you can round out the division.
Okay, I'm just gonna go quickly through this division because it all seems like really good, and I'll just mention the key additions and what I think the order is gonna be. So I have the Bears winning the division. Chicago did add more pieces around Trubisky. They lost Jordan Howard, which kind of sucks. But they did draft that guy from Iowa State,
David Montgomery. He's a
beast. And Cordell Patterson is back. And they also added a couple really solid pieces on defense. They got Clinton Dix. That's probably one of the biggest pickups they've had. Buster Skrine as well, playing corner. And then, of course, having Khalil Mack on your team always helps. So we'll see how that goes.
A little bit. It improves the defense slightly.
Yeah, just a little bit. He look, Matt. Okay, Khalil Mack only had 12.5 sacks last season. He's got to step it up. I'm expecting. He's got to do at least 20.
The Raiders were right in trading him. I mean, really. I mean, he just wasn't worth it.
Yeah. I mean, look at the rate. Look how good the Raiders.
I know, right? I mean, look at Derek Carr stepping up. Look at all that. Look at the Raiders.
I know, man. That is I'm Matt. I would love being in that locker room.
And you know what? I can't wait until they move to Las Vegas. I can't wait to see
that. Is going to be the best thing for them ever.
It is. Nothing could possibly go wrong about being a football team in Las Vegas.
No.
Absolutely fucking nothing. Those guys are going to be so responsible and successful.
I want to. Bobby, I want to don the silver and black right now.
Me too. You know what? I am switching sides. I'm trading one silver for another. Forget the blue and silver. We're going black and silver now, boys.
Okay. Anyway, but yeah, the Bears, all seriousness. I think they have seriousness. I think they have the potential to be one of the best teams in the NFC this season. I could easily see them getting 12 wins and getting a 1 or a 2 seed. And the Packers, I feel like, could be not right behind them, but could be contending for them until Chicago starts pulling away. The main reason I'm a little skeptical about the Packers, though, is just their head coach. It's basically a new era for them. Clay Matthews, Randall Cobb, they're all gone. They did retain their defensive coordinator, but we'll see. It could be a good fit, I guess. I'm not a big fan of this offense, but the defense could improve as well. We'll have to see how this new coaching staff does. I would have the Packers at 10 wins, though, if Rodgers performs like Aaron Rodgers.
Sorry, go ahead.
Tyler's favorite
what's that?
I was going to say Tyler's favorite quarterback, Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I'm sure. And then, really, I just want to talk about these last two teams because I don't really have much to say about them. The Vikings, I don't think Kirk Cousins was worth the big contract. Keeping Minnesota. That's just my personal opinion. I think Minnesota does have a solid offense. They didn't make any big splashes, so I would have them at maybe 7 or 8 wins. And then the Lions, it kind of sucks because I want the Lions to do well. They're one of my teams that I wish would do well, but just they're always missing something.
It's good to see that new logo went nowhere, huh?
Yeah, for sure. Patricia had a kind of an up and down season. His first season, I think another season under his belt will definitely help him. But unfortunately, I think it's this division is just too loaded for the Lions. At most, I would probably have them at 8 wins, which I think every team being 500, that's a solid division. like or above 500.
Yeah. Yeah. So for me, so again, just to recap, I had the Pack at 10-6. I have the Bears at 9-7. I have the Vikings at 8-8. God, man, like Kirk Cousins was awful last year. He's got to bounce back. They have one of the best wide receiver duos in the NFL, so that'll help him out. And got to see if that defense is still elite. For the Lions, I have them at 5-11, and that's only because they're in this division. Like, I feel like if they were in another division, like they could snap a wild card spot. But you're going against these teams for 6 times, like that's tough. That's
Yeah.
that's really tough. So that's where I have them, unfortunately. But that rounds up the NFC North. Let's go to the NFC South. I will start it off, I guess. I have the Saints going 11-5. um, Man, obviously the big talk is after what happened in the championship game last year. It'll be interesting to see how they bounce back. The Alvin Kamara he doesn't have Mark Ingram anymore, so he's the guy now. He's going to get the majority, and I think that's going to actually help them. He's in my opinion, like just looking at the eye test as they call it, he's one of the best players in the league. Like he is just elusive as fuck. Like he's crazy. I have them going 11-5, and we'll see if Breeze declines at all. They have a really good defense. Like actually, a lot of people I feel like don't think that way. They actually had the best rush defense last year, number 1. So I have them in first. Do you guys? Well, who do you guys have in first in your in your NFC South?
I got the Saints, and I don't even think it's
I
a
got the
question.
Saints.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, I just really quickly, I want to talk about just briefly. The Falcons, I think have the Falcons, I think have the potential to be to be the division winner here. But the main problem I'm having is the main problem I'm having is number 1, they're going against the Saints in the same division, and number 2, injuries. Like the Falcons, for some reason, are made out of paper. Like the last season, like that stat that Tyler gave about the Eagles being the second most injured. Yeah, guess who number 1 was?
Yeah.
It was the Falcons.
Yeah.
So, I think offensively, the Falcons don't have a problem. I think the defense is still pretty good. I do wish that the Falcons had a better defensive line, though. If Vic Beasley could have another solid season, we'll have to see. And then not really much I can say about the Panthers. I'm not a believer in Cam Newton right now. And I think Coach Ron Rivera is like on the hottest of hot seats.
Oh yeah, I think out of all the coaches, honestly,
Like he's probably number 1 on the hot seat list, and then
Yeah.
the Bucks, they've got to decide if Jameis Winston is the future or not.
the season's gonna decide that. I share similar sentiments.
So
I got good.
So no, I was gonna say finish your thought because I'll finish out everything.
Yeah, I mean, I was just gonna give my rankings real quick. So I have the Saints as 1, as I obviously said. That shouldn't be a question to me. Falcons, I have second, and I do not have them taking a wild card spot this time around. And look, it's for the main reason that I need to see Matt Ryan make a bounce back. He hasn't been convincing the past couple of years. I mean, he was in prime form just a few years ago, and he just hasn't. But he's got weapons. He's got Julio and he's got Calvin Ridley, and that's fine. But now I'm reading reports about Julio becoming disgruntled with the team, which I'm not sure if that'll affect performance or not. I'll be an optimist and say that it won't, but I still don't think it has what it takes to make the playoffs quite yet. I need to see a little more before I believe that.
Go ahead and hit that steam and hot take button for what you just said about Matt Ryan.
I'm not. Look,
he had like a great year last year.
Yeah, I know he had a great year last year. I know a lot of it was due to the injuries, like Brendy said. But you would think even with something like that, because you saw Andrew Luck just do it with the Colts last year, you would think he'd still be able to carry that team forward. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what the Falcons need right now, because besides Julio and Ridley, I mean, I'm not familiar with the rest of the lineup, but that's really all the names that keep coming up every time you research them.
So, a couple weeks ago, I I think it was 2 weeks ago, I put in the chat that I feel like the Falcons are going to absolutely suck this year. So much so that I said I could see them getting 5 or 6 wins. My God, I don't know what happened to me, but that changed. I will say, look, I was over exaggerating because I was kind of just fucking with Brendy, but I was looking at their schedule and I was like, I can really see them doing bad. Well, part of the reason is that the AFC South, or the NFC South plays this year, got a lot worse. You got Andrew Luck, who retired.
Did you
Lamar
say
Jack.
did you say NFC?
I don't know.
I think you said NFC. You should AFC South. That's what he's talking about.
AFC South, yeah. Andrew Luck is out. Lamar Miller gone. Like Clowney gone. Like got a lot easier. The other thing, and again, look, I knew they were injured a lot last year, but I didn't know how injured they were.
Tyler, you should have known how bad the season was going to be for the Falcons. Me and you watched the game together.
I know.
Do you remember how many injury timeouts there were just for the Falcons?
Look,
I'm starting to see a conspiracy. I think they all went down the same game.
And doing some research, I figured out that they were the most injured team last year. They had 7 starters on defense out before week 6. Or I think it was like week 6 or week 7 or whatever. Anyway, this is an interesting stat, which also propelled them for me. The Falcons obviously play 16 games this year. They play 13 games indoors. That is going to help them tremendously. Matt Ryan, there's a lot of quarterbacks that, a lot of quarterbacks that play in a dome will play, obviously, like on the away, they won't play as well. So, yeah, 13 games for them indoors, that's going to help. I just think that it's got to stay healthy. I went from saying they're going to be a 5-win team, doing some research, looking at things. They'll get Devonta Freeman back. Matt Ryan, great year last year, in my opinion. I think he could be an MVP candidate. I don't know.
Sold yet.
Oh,
I am not sold yet.
Please.
I had the Falcons going 10-6 and getting a wild card spot.
But
Yep. And then for me, I'm going to round it out. The Panthers.
All right, guys, thank you for tuning in to Play Pod.
The Panthers, I have at 8-8. I really wanted to put them in a little bit higher. I think that defense is still good. Luke Kuechly. They added Gerald McCoy from the Bucks, which is a big addition. I don't know. Christian McCaffrey, again, a beast. Another young running back who's a beast. Who knew? But yeah, I don't know. I just can't see them making it. And then the Bucks, same with these guys. 5-11. I have them. This is going to be the year for Jameis. You got to do something with him now, or what's going to happen. That stat I was talking about earlier about throwing to the sticks. Jameis Winston's number 1.
Wow.
And like he throws it past the sticks that like the most. They don't have Deshaun Jackson anymore. That's their deep threat. How much is that going to hurt him? Obviously, they still have Mike Evans there, and then they have I think is it Chris Godwin, who is like everybody's fantasy darling this year.
Yeah.
So I had the Bucks at 5-11. They drafted a Devin White, which I think will help their defense, but their defense is still fucking terrible. So
did you? I want to back up for 1 second to the
Yeah.
Panthers. Did you notice anything different about Christian McCaffrey on Madden 20?
that he was not the right skin color.
little bit. Just by a smidge. Yeah. If you haven't looked that up, please look that up. It's kind of funny. They got to deal with Cam Newton being hurt now, huh?
Yeah, it's gonna be. He got what rotator? I think it was like rotator
his elbow or something. It was something weird.
And for a guy that has a strong arm, that's not a good sign.
Nope. And you never know if he'll ever recover that kind of strength after that kind of surgery. So who knows? And the Bucks, yeah, Jameis Winston, he either shows up now or he doesn't show up at all for the rest of his career. I mean, it's just it's do or die at this point. I don't think there's any question about that. So that's my thoughts for the rest of the South.
NFC West to round it out. I have the Rams going 11-5. Think coming off of the Super Bowl loss, the one question in that game, which I still think is a question right now, is what is like the condition of Todd Gurley?
Arthritis.
Because is that actually what it is?
Yes.
Because like it wasn't really talked about too much. But I don't know. We'll have to see how he bounces back. But I have him at 11-5, and I'm just gonna go for time's sake through the division. Here, obviously Aaron Donald is gonna be one of the best players in the league. They'll be fine there in this division. I have the Seahawks going 9-7 and just missing out on the playoffs. Russell Wilson is an amazing quarterback, and like I feel like he's not that he's underrated, but I feel like he's not looked at as one of the best in the league.
I just drafted
He
him
literally
again in my
carries.
fantasy league, dude. He's good. I mean, he's good.
He's carrying like the
Yeah.
Seahawks. They get Clowney. You know that they did lose a lot of the you know, the Legion of what is it, Boom or Doom, Legion of Doom guys. Or what? No, it was Legion of Boom. Yeah.
These are
Think
good,
Yeah.
like Flyers.
yeah. They don't have Cam Chancellor anymore, Earl Thomas. You know, those guys are gone.
People literally just like got to give that up. Like seriously,
know.
move on.
So that's where I have them. They also don't have Doug Baldwin anymore, which is a kind of a big deal.
Right.
So yeah, that's
I'm
what
with
I
you
have
on
for
the
them.
first and second, by the way.
And then I just have the Niners at 7-9. They got a little bit better. See how Jimmy G
What?
bounces back. We'll see.
Jimmy.
Look, I have them at 7-9, but I could see
Jimmy.
them like being a wild card team. If I'm being honest, I know that's a big.
What?
That is a
Whoa,
drastic
whoa, whoa.
change. But I could see
What?
them being a wild card team.
Holy cow! Okay, no.
I was with you up until
Talk
that
about
point.
the Cardinals, then it's my turn.
Cardinals 4-12. Kyler Murray, what do you got? That's about it, I guess.
Oh, also a first time NFL head coach, I think. Is that, did I read that correctly?
I don't even
Yeah.
know. Oh yeah, Cliff
Yeah.
Kingsbury. Yeah.
Yeah, so that should be interesting.
Okay, Rams. Rams are winning the division, 13-3. They lost Ndamukong Suh and LaMarcus Joyner. I don't really think that's going to be a big deal. But I think the biggest addition that the Rams got was adding Blake Bortles. No, I'm kidding. They added Eric Weddle and Clay Matthews. I think that's going to really help the Rams. They've got just a solid team all around. I think they're going to contend with the Bears for the 1 and 2 seed in the NFC.
Yeah.
So I got the Rams with 13 wins. Seahawks. It's kind of hard to judge the Seahawks just because like they're one of those teams that like they seem built well, but like there's like I said, like there's just something missing from the Seahawks. I'm not entirely sure. Russell Wilson, obviously, like you've been saying, Bobby, like Russell Wilson's like he's a beast and he's carrying the team.
Yep.
But like there's not really a whole lot else, and people need to stop bringing up the Legion of Boom because that was just like. There was only 3 years where you could like legitimately say there was a Legion of Boom. Other than that, like get over it.
And they fucking run the ball.
Yeah. I have the Seahawks just missing the playoffs with 9 wins. But like I said, like they are the Seahawks, and they still have Pete Carroll, so don't be completely surprised. But they lost a lot of pieces and didn't really add anything major, I guess. Okay. And now this is the division, that is like completely top heavy and completely bottom heavy at the same time.
Yeah.
I've got the 49ers with 4 wins at best.
I'm confused where Tyler is getting his prediction from.
Dude, Jimmy G. Come on.
I know. I like him too. Trust me, I like him too, but not yet.
George Kittle, they added Richard Sherman. Like they added Nick Bosa out of the draft. Their offensive line got better.
Richard Sherman is not the Richard Sherman of past.
Okay, but I'm just saying that's an improvement on the cornerback side last year. No?
Okay, here's some real improvements. Nick Bosa, D Ford, and Quan Alexander.
That's good additions.
No, those are. But like you're like, and they also lost Garcon and Mitchell as well.
I still think
keep in mind, Tyler. One thing you're forgetting is Jimmy G looked terrible in training camp.
He wasn't trying. He was playing blind.
I'm sure he was. I am 100% sure he was.
I never thought I'd see the day Tyler would defend a former Patriot on the fucking 49ers.
I love how it like took us to the 49ers for everybody to be arguing.
Because how the fuck are they a wildcard team to you?
You're fucking stupid.
No. I did not say they're a wildcard team. I have them going 7-9. Like they're under 500, but I could see them going like 9-7 and getting a wildcard.
Is weed legal in Jersey now?
Close, by the way.
I'm sure, but no, I'm sorry. I'm not a believer in Jimmy.
I'm a believer in Jimmy. I don't believe the pieces.
Well, I'll believe him if he can have a solid season and like the pieces will come to. So I've got 4, maybe 5 wins, and then the Cardinals I have like maybe 2 or 3 wins. You guys know I don't like Kyler Murray, and having a rookie head coach also is not going to help. And yeah, that's all I've got to say. That's really all I got to say about the Cardinals. Like they have literally hit the reset button as hard as possible.
Well, I mean, when you're a retirement home for 5 years, you kind of have to.
Like not only have they hit the reset button, but you know how like those old toys, like they have like that reset button where like you have paper clip and like hold for 10 seconds. That's literally what the Cardinals did.
Jesus Christ.
They literally hard reset it.
Yeah.
All right, Bobby, finish up the division and we'll get
49ers
going
in
here.
third with 6 wins. Cardinals in fourth, and I don't even want to discuss them because I don't even think they're worth it. So
Next.
Yep. Next.
All right,
Thank you. Next.
Let's just go through who we have in the playoffs. I'll go, and then you guys can go. So I had the Pats in the AFC at the 1 seed, the Chiefs at the 2 seed, Steelers at the 3 seed, Titans 4, Chargers 5, Browns 6, and then the wild cards. NFC, I have Eagles 1, Rams 2, Saints 3, Pack 4, and then the wild cards being Falcons at 5 and Cowboys at 6. Bobby, what is yours?
I got in the AFC. I got Pats at 1. I got the Chiefs at 2. I have the Texans at 3, Browns at 4, Steelers at. Chargers at 5, and I got the Steelers at 6 for the AFC.
Sorry.
Am I going to the NFC next, or?
Yeah,
okay.
Sorry.
All right, so for the NFC, I got the Eagles at 1. I have the. I lost my fucking. I got the Eagles at 1. I got the Saints at 2. I got the Rams at 3, and the Bears at 4. With the Vikings at 5 and with Cowboys at 6.
All right, and Brendy.
Okay. I've got for the AFC, I've got New England Patriots at 1, and then the Chiefs at 2, Steelers at 3, and then the Texans at 4. Although I might change that later. And then wild cards, I got. I can't believe I'm saying this. The Chargers at 5 and the Jags at 6. And then the NFC, I actually didn't finish my NFC predictions. I'm not gonna lie, but I'll say I'll have the Bears the Bears at 1, the Rams at 2, the Saints at 3, and what am I forgetting?
Eagles.
Yeah, Eagles. And then my wild card, I would have the Falcons as all of the Falcons 5 and the Vikings at 6.
For my Super Bowl, I have the Eagles over the Patriots.
All right. Okay, I hear you.
Wow, Bobby.
I got the Patriots over the Saints.
Of course you fucking do. And Brendy.
I've got the Rams over the Chiefs.
Oh, I would love to see that game. All right, and then
fucking hell of a game.
Just we were gonna get to more of this, but we're short on time. But I do want to just know, do you guys have a MVP candidate?
Patrick Mahomes.
You heard it here first.
Yep.
Carson Wentz.
Okay. All right. That's not the biggest hot take I've ever heard in my life, but you know what? I'll give it to you anyway, just so you can feel good about yourself.
No, and we are gonna end as we did last year on our NFL picks. Let me say. We're going to say for week 1, we might change it in the future, but yeah. So we have 3 games on tap this week. The Green Bay-Chicago game, which is literally happening in seconds. We have Atlanta, Minnesota, and New England, Pittsburgh. I will start. Week 1, I have the Green Bay Packers winning 27-17 over Chicago. I have Atlanta winning 31-23 over Minnesota, and I have New England winning 34-31 over Pittsburgh. And Bobby?
So I'll start with the Bears and the Packers. I got the Bears actually dominating the Packers this time around, 28-10. I just think the Bears have a chip on their shoulder, so I kind of want to see them come out with a boom. I got the Vikings beating the Falcons 24-14. Like I said, I'm not sold on the Falcons yet. If Matt Ryan ends up being more carry than I think he's not.
Yes, an MVP season wasn't good enough.
I don't know.
For
If he's, I will listen. I will happily eat my words if that happens. But for now, I'm just not a believer yet. So 24-14 in favor of the Vikings, and of course Patriots and Steelers. I got a barn burner as the Patriots and Steelers always seem to give, but I got the Patriots edging the Steelers 27-21.
Yeah, Bobby has high standards for his quarterbacks just because of Tom Brady.
Can you blame me? Honestly.
All right. Anyway, quickly, I actually also have the actually no, I have the Patriots beating the Steelers 27-24. I was gonna make it the same score that you had, but I've got the Bears beating the Packers. I think it's gonna be a little bit closer. I'll have Bears winning 30-20, and then I'll have the Falcons winning 27-24. And those are my picks.
And that is it. That is the longest show that I'll do. I love it though. Like I
Yeah.
love going in depth, and it takes a long time, but it is worth. That is our show. That is our NFL preview. Looking forward to the season. It's always a great time of year, and we will keep you updated with the pick situation. We might change it up a little bit. We'll let you know. That is all for us, though. If you would like to contact us, you can reach us on Twitter at Complay Network. Zach was obviously not here today. I know it took 2.5 hours to say that, but yeah, Zach obviously not here, but he should be back for next time. And until next time, this has been episode 32 of the Complay Podcast, and we will see you next time for episode 33. And should be a good one. So we'll see you then.
Peace.
Go watch Green Bay and Chicago now.